We're ready to go. Maureen already with his little boots play, smokes up, has boots, drops them off at some point for the courier to pick them up and sell them, so he gets an early ward out there, and he's going to test for any vision that Liquid has placed. Nisha spots him now, backs away.
I think this mid lane should go fine for Nisha, though. I mean, we are focusing a lot on the lanes here. Of course, you know, we're getting into the start of the game, so you're going to think about that a lot. But I expect Nisha to pull his weight in this mid lane, and he is a player that can make rotations, cause some chaos on the map, free up the team fight, and we have seen his Earth Spirit do absolutely crazy things here. I would also not underestimate Liquid's ability to just outmaneuver Falcons on the map. We saw them outmaneuver a lot of teams at TI, particularly around the play calls from Boxy. That is always something you can just fall back on. Yeah, you lose lanes. Who cares? We're just going to outmaneuver you, win a Wisdom Rune here, win some ward trades there, and all of a sudden we're in a favorable position, and you can just never fight us again. That is something Undying can give you versus a Shaker. It can make the Blink initiations really difficult versus that high ground Tombstone. If you can take these fights in the right areas of the map, protect the Roshan, protect the Ancients. This is a hero that scales surprisingly well if you can get over that mid-game hurdle.
Late smoke from Liquid does not net them anything. Falcons just playing safely on their side of the map. We're going to see what kind of lane pulling we're going to have, what kind of creep wave block in.
You can pull this bottom wave versus the double range.
Yeah.
That is an option. Just reset the equilibrium near the tower, make it easier for Saberlight. If you reset that equilibrium near that offlane tier 1, then that move for the Hoodwink becomes way easier to make. So there's two benefits to getting that equilibrium in a good spot down here. You also have the chase down potential with Tombstone. If this lane is super far up, Skeeter can die on this lane if you hold that TP cancel, so he can't just TP out against the zombie slow. More important lane for Liquid might be their safe lane, though, because you got to remember, this is a first pick Templar Assassin. This is a hero that they go to, they rely on. It has to perform well for them. If you lose the power of this pick, if you go into game 2 or 3 saying, guys, are we afraid to first pick TA in this series overall? You lose a lot of your drafting advantage for Falcons in general. So you really have to make this hero work on more levels than just the lane here and prove that it's worth the first pick overall that you think it is.
Right.
So far, though, Nisha matching the CS in the early stages of this lane. Just get to that bottle. Get up to the early level 6 if you can. Then you do have some solo kill potential, or you have that rotation potential. Can easily just roll on either of these side lanes and you get the kill. And that's when you can start to turn, you know, these Viper matchups around. Maybe this Deuce has to go jungle a little bit earlier than she wants. Those little things will add up tremendously in this game.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the biggest highlights of running this Earth Spirit mid. The possibility of rotating super early and offsetting what some of these side lanes are doing. Tombstone's going to be thrown down already.
That's a lot of damage.
Running after Skeeter. He's going to be caught inside the bushwhack. Skeeter's in trouble, but he does have a mango. It is definitely not a kill for Liquid, but it is a bit of pressure. Maybe a chance to be able to pull this creep wave away. They're going to let the range creep go by and pull all the melee creeps back. That little creep equilibrium is important for Liquid.
So it did cost them the blood grenade. Snaking just stood there, killed the Tombstone. He's very happy about that. You did get the mango and some extra regen out of the Medusa. Not the worst regen trade. And lane equilibrium in a very good spot in that offlane right now. Honestly, I like how Liquid are playing these first few minutes here. It looks very solid for them just from a mechanic standpoint. You're looking at where the lane is bottom, where the lane is in the safe lane for the TA. These are good spots to be in for these two cores. Not a lot of pressure going out on them right now.
The fact that they got an easy camp stack for Liquid in their safe lane is pretty massive. They've already gotten a pull off of it.
Yeah, that's huge, especially for a hero like Oracle. The level 3 is vital for this hero. Then you have some sort of cheeky all-in kill threat. Getting to that level 5 becomes easier.
Ooh, Nisha gets a kick away before Maureen can strike for any more damage. Another enchant totem was coming up. You can see he's suffering a little bit in the melee-on-melee matchup of the enchant totem and the constant slugger hits that come out. It's just constant chips of damage that in a melee-on-melee you can't really avoid.
Even got this pull bottom again too. Boxy denying more ranged XP against the Enchantress. Sometimes this is risky or hard to do. Liquid making a lot of these small camps on the side lanes work for them right now, and it's reflected in the net worth. Their cores are quite happy with this early game. Now you have to think about some of these support rotations. Do you try and make the first move if you're snaking on this Enchantress? Are you not happy with how this lane's going and you want to commit more resources to it? Or can you try and get that super valuable gank on Mickey here? And the flip side, if you're Liquid, can you commit more resources into taking down this Viper? Because every time you can in that early game, it feels great. Take this hero off the lane, he misses time abusing the TA, his game gets slowed down a bit. It's not that fast of a jungler.
Saberlight just getting zoned down by the Pinecone right now. Not having a whole lot of fun with it. But he does get the flank barrier creep. All important for that extra bit of CS. Speaking of CS, pretty even across the board. Falcons is winning slightly, but certainly not as much as we were expecting based off just the draft. Boxy trying to clear through this easy camp to make sure that Snake King doesn't have an opportunity to pull, but protected again by another big creep.
That's the downside of that medium camp. Yeah, you can use it to pull, but the Enchantress is going to use it to extract more off the lane right now. And this series matchup might come down to a lot of little mechanical things. Who's gaining an advantage going into that mid game and who can use it better. I think that's maybe more towards Falcons' wheelhouse. Seems very methodical.
Yeah.
Almost to a point of frustration. You get into this old kind of Tundra mindset of, somewhere AUI doesn't like hearing it, but you choke the map out, right? You build a 40k gold lead, a 50k gold lead, and then you start to play the game.
You did have your prediction that we were going to see some 70, 80-minute game between these two.
I think one of these will go the distance.
Nisha back and forth a little bit here. Nisha blocked in right now, doesn't have a roll. He's only got a kick. He can only push one of these heroes away, and Maureen will send him flying. Meanwhile, Skeeter is going to be caught as Insania does go through the gate here. They drop the tombstone, got the bushwhack. They are going to be able to kill this tombstone in a second, but Skeeter is running out of mana fast. An opportunity, one more mango. They're going to try and burst him down. They do manage to get that much, but Saberlight perhaps is going to die in return. Staking, the final hit comes in. It's not enough. Needs a little bit more. Saberlight is away. Goes for a TP out. Snowball coming in. Snowball, it nails him before the TP completes. Even in the bottom lane, they still trade 1-for-1. So Falcons overall taking a lead.
That's a super valuable move from Crit. It was not going to pan out into anything, but having that Snowball, getting the massive XP off that core, really just boosted his game a lot. And it's a tough dive on this Medusa. It just takes so long to bring her down, even with some of the Oracle spell advantage going into the hero. It's just tough. Have to think about the sustain coming out from Enchantress as this game goes on as well. And that's a tough death for Saberlight. Yeah. This Undying is not a hero you want missing seconds in the early game off the lane.
Just running back the lane. Pick up inside the Snowball. Insania protects himself from any of this magic damage. Meanwhile, Snake King, he will die to this one as the Magnetize continues now onto Crit. It's looking like Nisha is going to pick up a lot of experience for this one, killing 2 supports. But in the meanwhile, Falcons still getting, it feels like, the better of the situation between a kill there and just domination elsewhere.
They have 2 solo lanes. Maureen got a lot of mid-tower damage right now, and he is really accelerating on this chart with all the free space. So he's going to be the big concern here if you're Liquid. Luckily, they also got that Wisdom Rune. Snake King was sending the Wildekin to deny it. Big feeling the pressure right now.
Back. Nice use there from Snake King. He's dead. Nothing he could do about this. It's a TA versus Viper matchup. What are you going to do?
Well, you can tip him, too. Kind of a brutal tip.
I mean, I feel like that tip, I'm not sure if that tip is getting into my head at all. It's like, dude, it's a Viper versus TA matchup. What are you supposed to do?
Not have your Oracle leave the lane.
I guess so.
Should have tipped Insania, honestly. That was the play.
Well, they didn't know where the power rune was. Nisha did, thanks to the fact he's got an Oracle, so he was able to pick up a shield rune. Is going to roll after Maureen.
No, Magnetize.
Look at how many heroes are here from Liquid. Jeez. They brought the TA out of the jungle. They've got both supports here.
I mean, you have to play around Nisha in this game. He's your only early playmaker. The TA is going to have to jungle and recover. The Undying did not have the laning phase they were hoping out of the draft. So it has to be rotations out of the Surf Spirit every time Magnetize is off cooldown. And you really want this Viper right now if you can nab him.
Oh, and they're going to have him for sure.
That's a nice play from Saberlight. Getting a lot of value out of this early ultimate. And he was not really having a fun time on that bottom lane, so easy rotation from him. Even cleans up the old Pinecone.
Yeah. He is still the lowest net worth core in the game, but that kill certainly helps him quite a bit. And he'll get a little chance to farm up. Sticks around for too long, though. He will die right back as Crit is hanging around right now. I imagine Mar's going to come back out to lane. Mar's going to go early Force Staff on his Viper, double Wraith Bands, and a Magic Wand.
It's an interesting early Force Staff. Not an early like treads or even stat build up here, not a tank item. Just a cheap utility / mobility item, maybe wanting to kite this Liquid lineup out in the early fights.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly going to be a really good... Ooh, instant magnetize. Maureen. He's going to be caught in place here by the Fortune's End. A kill, no doubt, but the question is whether or not Liquid will get out alive. Nisha, he's got to roll in a second here, and will be able to get a roll out. The damage over time, it's not enough.
Oracle will absolutely bail you out of those situations.
Falcons bringing mass members to kill Nisha. Don't get that, but we'll get something in return still. It'll be the mid tower.
I was just getting chipped down too much from these edge creeps, plus Maureen having the empty lane from earlier. This was an inevitability.
Nice deny from Nisha, though.
Inevitability be damned. They will take that objective away from Falcons. That's a big one. There was a lot of time invested into that from the Snake King Enchantress. You want that team goal to keep accelerating the game right now. He's going to look towards his top tower, though.
Rolling on a Snake King. Insania catching back up. Got the Fortune's End to keep him here for a while. Do they have the damage to be able to burst him through all this heal? It's only a level 1 Nature's Attendance. Mickey, he's going to try and join in. They have the Snowball on Nisha. Mickey's going to get the Melt Strike, and that'll finish him off. So once again, Mickey doesn't want to play the lane at all.
No.
Plays the jungle as much as possible and will show up to any little skirmishes that are nearby.
I mean, this was a TA that lane versus Viper, and he's basically highest net worth in the game. Liquid should be very happy with how this first 10 minutes went. And they can just start to stack up the triangle and match the stacks with Medusa. And this TA is going to keep pace, and she's going to go to Roshan first if you're in an even situation, which is another objective. If you look at this Liquid lineup, they're very good at fighting around between the Earth Spirit and the Undying. That's a very tough Roche contest for Falcons if they're not ones ahead on the map. Especially if you're going things like the early Force Staff on the Viper, it's not really an item that helps you in that 5-on-5 objective-based battle.
Crit, he is sitting on top of some TA traps. And Boxy, while he's not level 6, would love to try and go for that kill with some help.
Okay, Blink done for Maureen, though. It's just the big playmaking item for Falcons if they can let it arrive before the action commences.
Bushwhack on Crit. Fortune's End follows it up. TA trap slows him down, but he blocks him off with a shard. And frankly, Mickey does not want to push forward into the Viper. Doesn't want to risk it. It's not for a support anyway.
Zania has honestly gotten a lot done in this early game. Just fighting these supports. He's made this Oracle look really strong, as he often does. It's a decent amount of magical burst damage. You have to respect it in these random skirmishes. This will be the smoke with the blink reveal for Maureen. See who he wants to grab here. Is Boxy juicy enough?
No, I don't think so, right?
I mean, that's a free kill if you wanted it. So now you need something bigger here. Smoke from Liquid, trying to meet the same timing. The Blade Mail is done on the Earth Spirit.
They're going to
tough target.
Loop in Saberlight, I think.
AK TP in mid, trying to dodge this play out. Might just run straight into it.
That's the kill you want, surely. But with a fraction up, it's not so easy. Maureen can't do it alone. He needs his supports closer by.
Just going to let that
They misses their opportunity. Now they head to the other side of the map. They've already checked top. They say, okay, nothing really there. Couldn't catch him in mid. Time to go to bottom. But the smoke is worn out. And Liquid are here in force, and they've got a high ground ward. Instant Echo Slam goes down quickly, kills the Undying, sure, but now he's going to be hit. Nisha, Magnetize committed. Skater comes in with the Stone Gaze and a re-up on the Magnetize. Looks like Maureen's going to drop low, but he should be okay. Meanwhile, Nisha, he wants to stick on a Skater here. He's willing to take this fight. After all, Saberlight's back into play. Had his passive, has a Tombstone, has a Bushwhack on too. They can't deal with all of this surely, or maybe they can. Skater's running low on mana for now. A big hit from Maureen finishes off the Oracle.
that
But a shot from across the screen from Boxy. Nails him good, and Skater is caught up by Mickey. Crit's gonna die as well. Liquid just have too many heroes to take the team fight, and they will wipe Falcons.
That Undying passive did so much work in that early fight. You get a second life on this big core. He's the one who tanks the initial initiation from the Shaker, tanks the Echo Slam, and guess what? He's right back in that fight with the Tombstone, with the old presence, and that Tombstone stayed up for a decent amount of time. Sick bushwhacks from Boxy, catching multiple cores while that Tombstone's running, and then he hits the Sharpshooter at the end to finish off Maureen. Very high impact plays from the support duo here on the side of Liquid. I was wondering, like, Insania, why not Oracle ult this Undying, who's the one who gets jumped? He's just saving it for the long run. Super good read of the situation and taking advantage of this passive on a hero that not a lot of people are used to playing into. Huge teamfight win for Liquid around this bottom lane, and that's exactly what they want with this Dirge.
That's right. Every 8 minutes, you got this ceaseless Dirge, an instant revive, and Liquid hadn't put it to use the entire game. Finally see an opportunity as they bait him out, get that Blink Dagger reveal out of Maureen. And Maureen did do some good work there. He killed the Undying at the first part of it, and then later he kills Insania, preventing any ult coming out from him. Jump forward. And this time around, the Undying, okay, they've broken the Viper actually, and they get the save. Now it's going to be Amar who's going to die instead of Saberlight.
This build has just not worked out at all. This Force Staff, it did not save you 2 fights in a row, and now I think you are starting to feel the weakness in terms of how are you going to scale into this game? How are you going to be tanky enough to exist on the front lines? You don't have extra attack speed to bring this Tombstone down.
Oh, Insania in some trouble here, and nowhere he can really run to. Tried to heal him up. Saberlight, while he was saved by Insania earlier, he could not do the same for his captain.
That's a valuable pickoff. Just try and swing a little momentum back to your side of the map right now. Skeeter is still the one core for Falcons that's having a fairly solid game.
Boxy trying to make a move here. Nisha's going to roll on after it. Here comes the snowball. No big save just yet. The Magnetize damping up, but it is still going to be Nisha dying, and the Magnetize will not do enough damage. Everybody's low, but nobody dies.
It's so much spread damage there. That is something Falcons are going to have to think about in this game. Can you build utility to help you with all this spread AoE? Like, can you get a pipe in this game? Can you get Glimmer Capes? Can you get a Lotus Orb for an extra Dispel?
Yeah, I mean, I think Amar, that would have been one of the heroes that could have gotten that for you, right?
Right. Like, Greaves and Pipe seem great this game, but who's going to build them at this point?
It seems like he just wants to build up to scale. He wants the Hurricane Pike, but he also wants Manta.
I mean, it's Amar. Let's be honest. He's building to scale every single game he plays.
Still a bit surprised just because, I mean, you've got the Dusa.
I just think you are going to need utility somewhere in here to take the head 5-on-5 and to contest those Roshans that Liquid are gearing up for. You have a drum on the Enchantress. I do like that pickup from Snaking as he's going to get ganked here and bite the dust.
That's going to be the smoke. Liquid are going to push forward looking for more. Boxy might just spot crit. Oh, it's nighttime, so he was barely outside of the vision. Remember, he's got that Rod of Atos, so if he saw him there, that would have been another kill.
Liquid are really strong on the map right now. They're happy to take any exchange. They know they have the straight 5-on-5 advantage. Not enough in the frontline tank for Falcons either. The Viper and the Enchantress, 2 frontliners that can get broken here.
Yep.
You just can't sit up there and bait the fight out like that. Maybe at some point your Deuce is strong enough to sit on that front line and give you vision for the Shaker jump, but outside of that, you're gonna have to skirt around the map right now.
Liquid is really close to Deso. Saberlight, ooh, all right. Blinking away. You can see his idea of things. Echo Saber, Blink Dagger, and next he's gonna go BKB. He just wants to be able to get on top of somebody and put those rotten mitts to good use. Nisha. Whoa, okay. That's all right, he's still surrounded. A missed roll will not cause any problems for Liquid.
These items are going to align well here. This Deso's flying out for mid-game. That BKB is going to be done on the Earth Spirit, and you don't really care what your Undying has. This is Roche time right now in the next
100%.
few minutes here. And I don't think you are contesting this.
I think you're going to take the Roshan, then I think you're going to take the enemy Tormentor, maybe their Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, if you get all that lined up, it's going to be a beautiful 2 or 3 minute sequence here for Liquid. So you kind of have to make your choice, right? Do you start fighting for all of that, or do you just start conceding objectives in a row? Do you look for the trade? What is that trade on the map right now? I don't think you can just start hitting a tier 2 with this lineup. We saw Skeeter stealing some Ancients from Liquid side of the map. That's a consolation prize.
Yeah.
And just straight Tombstone drop. They are not messing around. So Roshan, I don't know where he's going. He's taking a vacation.
Yeah, and Sanio with the disarm there may have accidentally pulled Roshan out of the pit, but it's fine. Falcons, they've already pushed in both the mid and bottom wave, and as you said, they are farming up the enemy Ancients, so they're getting the most out of the situation they possibly can. What are you going to do about the 20-minute timing? Are you going to try and take Liquid's Tormentor? Are you going to try and take one of these tier 2s? Are you willing to take that kind of risk?
I can absolutely see Liquid barrel down this top lane, take Falcon's Tormentor, and go for their own. They have other plans. All through the gate, 5-man gate rotation. They're trying to backstab the split pushers.
Oh, the Dusa would be such a big pickup now. He's got Manta, and there's not enough heroes nearby. Instead, they go after Crit. And
It will get him.
He's mega dead. Nice little sidestep there.
Side blade off the tusk into the ancient camp. Extra efficiency for Mickey. Once more, Falcons just dodging the map right now.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of keeping away from Liquid and only losing, the support. Not that big of a deal.
This is one of the strengths of this team, though. It's very hard to outfarm them, even in these kind of stalled out periods. You're looking at this net worth advantage. It's 1K. This is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
And honestly, ATF, he has recovered pretty well in this game. Finished up the Hurricane Pike. He's been getting a lot of farm off the lanes.
Yeah, but we already saw the Force Staff wasn't that useful for him. Is the Hurricane Pike really going to make that much of a difference either?
It does help if you can land it on the TA. It's going to create a lot of space in the fight, and it does just boost your HP up a lot more.
Instant Echo Slam as soon as Nisha shows himself in mid.
That's a big pickup.
And the Oracle not close enough. Not behind him there. I feel like Nisha thought that Insania was going to be there. After all, you put yourself in the middle of the map. You put yourself on the lowest low ground.
Little too brazen. If you are going to sit behind someone in this game, it's going to be the Earth Spirit, especially while that TA has the Aegis. So Falcons, they almost take a little bit of a risk there, right? Not knowing exactly where this Oracle is.
Yeah.
And that risk pays off with a huge pickoff on that BKB. Earth Spirit didn't get the fight out of that BKB before going down. Gonna buy them a lot of time. In fact, they are up net worth on that chart.
That's just gonna put even more pressure on Liquid as soon as the Earth Spirit is back up into play and they get the lanes pushed in to use this latter half of the Aegis. You're gonna be at 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, what did you get out of it? You didn't get that Wisdom Rune, you didn't get the Tormentor.
And now you're gonna be fighting into a Dusa who has Scotty.
And he still has a tier 1 mid up. The objective trades for Liquid have just not worked out here.
Cute play by Nisha to roll in to make sure he got the high five in time. A more deadly play from Liquid in the bottom lane here that will kill crits.
Deso charges for Mickey.
Nice punch. Still dies.
You really need this tier 1 off the map if you're Liquid right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to swoop in right now. Mid-game Boxy, they're going to make their move from bottom.
Okay.
Instant jump in from Saberlight. The Hurricane Pike will recreate some distance here, but the Tombstone's going to be dropped. And Insania, they know they can't go for this Undying. The Oracle is pushing in behind him, so they try and back away. Still caught by the Bushwhack. Another Force Staff. This one from Snake King will help the Viper survive. Nisha goes in a little deep there off of a bad roll. He has to activate his BKB and his Blade Mail to make sure he stays up. Liquid make a lot of moves there, cast a lot of spells, don't get anything for it.
Look at Malrine, Echo up in 2 seconds. He is eyeing this fight with the Tombstone going down.
Saberlight so low. Saberlight does blink back. Good timing from him. Almost got caught by Malrine.
I like the aggressive move, though. There's a decent chance Falcons do not expect a Blink Undying to be the initiator there.
Yeah.
And it almost worked. But you also have to be careful of that overextension. So many Force Staffs to kite that kind of fight out, and Skeeter does do a decent amount of damage even at this point in the game. Falcons are starting to scale up a bit. And now you have some of those big ults on cooldown. No Undying ult, no Magnetize. Falcons going to try and make a quick move here with that Echo Slam and the Ags completed on the Shaker.
Yeah, despite the Aegis still being up for a minute, I think it's very clear that... Yeah, I mean, the Undying has no Tombstone and no ults. That's kind of a useless hero.
Yep. And they're abusing it a lot in this game. I mean, the reason this mid game got stalled out is the Enchantress creeps were constantly pushing in that top lane, and Undying is just not a hero that plays the map well.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower
Mickey will take the time here to do the Tormentor. Gets Boxy his Boomerang. Meanwhile, aggressively postured from Liquid.
Saw
Nisha spots Amar and will roll TP away. Meanwhile, they do know Skeeter's here. They're going to go for him. They're going to try and chase after him here, Skeeter. He has his Manta up, 3 seconds. Saberlight trying to blink after him. Doesn't reach him. They wanted to catch him on the high ground. As soon as he gets down to the river, it's a bit too far for Liquid to chase. They do smoke up immediately, though. They still want to try and take this fight. They have Amar. They spotted him underneath a TA trap. They know he's very isolated. They just saw all these Falcons heroes in mid. And that means Amar all alone. Saberlight, though, might die for it. Bailed out by the Oracle. The magic damage is prevented. Meanwhile, Nisha catching Falcons. They try and rotate into Amar. The Magnetize, well, they're going to roll, and he doesn't have a blink up, so Crit's going to die as well here. Liquid picking up 2 for the price of 1.
Man, Nisha just ran into 4, says, easy fight for me. I'll take the pick off in exchange for my BKB and head back to farm. So an Aegis period for Liquid that I don't think netted them a lot of the map controller objectives. It might have been able to, but in the end, they're still in a very solid position with all of their cores. And they can easily look towards this next Roshan and taking that team fight head on. Secure another Aegis for Mickey, and then that can be a gateway into all these tier 2s. So that's the fight you need to prepare for right now if you're a Falcons. Because I don't know how many of these smoke moves are really going to work for them on the map. You've seen 2 or 3 just kind of fizzle out. They did not get those big initiations off of Malreen's reveals that I think they were looking for, outside of that one pick-off on Nisha in mid that felt like Nisha gave it to them more than they found it.
I mean, if we're talking about the success of this Aegis timing, it's pretty dependent on whether or not Liquid needs to do more than what they did. How does this late game match up between these two teams?
I think
does Liquid need to end this soon?
No, I don't think so. I think that first Aegis, you're looking to get as much out of as you can, but I'm not going to be too critical here on this kind of game state as a consequence. The second one is where you have to ramp it up, though.
Okay.
This is a lineup that wants to use that second Aegis to take a lot more map control, get the Earth Spirit and the Undying especially into, you know, maintain those top 3 or 4 slots, get them to the 4th item territory where they really are going to start to scale into that late game. And if you get over that mid-game hurdle, it's going to be a very strong scaling lineup. I don't think you're too afraid of going late game here.
Okay.
You just have to maintain that slow, steady advantage, right? Don't fall into that trap where you end up in some 40-minute farm fest against Falcons. And they're just choking you out on the map, and suddenly ATF is top net worth, and he's outscaling your whole team. You also have to think about how much farm Snaking's going to get in all these downtimes, right? This Enchantress is going to out-farm almost all these supports. He's going to become another core in this game with another Hurricane Pike, potentially some more scaling items.
Yeah, snaking on the Enchantress in particular is always one of the reasons that Falcons out-farms teams.
100%.
Right? His network difference between the other supports in the game is usually a decent chunk of their advantage. Now, they don't have a net worth advantage. Liquid is actually up 1K right now, but you can see that the Enchantress is up 1,700 over Boxy's Hoodwink.
And he's thinking about pipe. So I mentioned that pipe grieves, you know, who's going to build the items here.
Yeah.
If Staking can finish up an entire pipe, it's huge for the team. We also just saw that Ags finish for Skeeter. This is an item we're seeing more and more on Medusa. Some of these like hybrid control magic damage builds. We saw Ame doing it a lot.
At what point, by the way, do you consider Nullifier for Liquid? If everyone is going to get a Force Staff, you know, like you've got double Hurricane Pikes on Enchantress and Viper.
Oh, this is a massive
Smoke's gonna break onto each other. Instant jump in. Saberlight getting punched. Couldn't get off the tombstone. Nothing goes off. He instant revives and will be trying to get to his team in time. But Malreen with a quick tip to Saberlight. Falcons, they learned from their mistakes in the past. They're not going to overly chase for this. But the secret is that Saberlight couldn't get to this fight quickly.
No.
He is having to run out to lane. He didn't have a TP.
That was incredibly awkward. Maybe you're okay trading your passive in a death for information, but I do not think that is what Saberlight had in mind.
No,
Just
I mean,
blinks in, instant punch pop. You almost want to pre-Oracle ult him there.
I mean, if he BKB flesh golemed,
Yeah,
right?
he does not die instantly.
He doesn't die instantly. Maybe he gets a tombstone up on the high ground. I feel like
mean,
that's a good fight for you.
He died in the tombstone cast animation. It's something you have to think about on that Blinken. And that was a big whiff for Liquid because now all of a sudden you are losing that second Roshan, losing that second Aegis that Mickey really wanted in this game. And you are giving it away to a Medusa who you already have some trouble bringing down. That's a big miss.
This
Big miss for
Medusa is
Liquid.
going to be a menace.
They don't have easy answers for them. I mean, the Oracle is great versus Hero. The Tombstone can add up if it doesn't die.
I mean, I think...
But outside that,
Attack.
I legitimately think that the rotting mids is kind of a problem for Dusa. We used to see this matchup in like a year or two ago when the Shard, people would buy the Shard on Undying, and you can man up against the Dusa, you just keep hitting her.
I mean, did you see that last Blinken? I don't think he's manning up for as much here. He has no survivability. He has no armor. I think Skeeter will absolutely shred Saberlight right now. He's going to need Oracle ult or to just drop everything and come back. But his passive, his reincarn is on cooldown
Trying to get
right
an
now.
aggressive force staff there. Boxy only pushes him over to the side. You can see Saberlight. He's got his positioning further down, ready to blink in.
I mean, what's your angle into this fight? Who are you even looking for if you're Liquid right now? There's not a lot of easy targets. I'd say Crit is the best one to find. You eliminate the snowball save. He's probably the squishiest. But he's just in the middle of everybody.
Yeah, everybody on Falcons is pretty damn tanky. 2,800 HP on the Earthshaker and tons of mobility thanks to that Aghanim Scepter. The squishiest hero is the Viper at 2k HP and natural magic resistance. Nisha is going to have to pop his BKB, but the knock up in the air is too much for him.
What was he doing there?
Another hero that dies just like that. Insania's, he can't get there in time.
I mean, that is not on Insania. There's no way he could follow him out on mid lane like that with no vision.
And now, no Earth Spirit, so they go for it. A high ground push for free from Falcons. They're going to try and poke at this Medusa, but he's got an Aegis and is very tanky. This is probably just going to be a full lane of barracks.
You're going to have to give up something here. No way you're fighting without Nisha. The Manta arrives for Omar, so he has a Dispel of his own right now. Even if that Earth Spirit comes back, you have to think about where these Magnetizers are going. And Mickey is just not doing enough damage right now. 1 second for the Earth Spirit respawn. Saberlight's probably just going to go in here, try and make something happen.
Here he goes, right in the middle. Drops the tombstone.
He did
Gets
not
punched up in the
BKB.
air. Oh, the Echo Slam! He got hit by a zombie. Didn't manage to get his blink away. The tombstone will die. Snake King doesn't fall. They're going to deal with Skeeter in his first life. Now Saberlight at half HP.
No Tombstone available, though.
No tombstone. Doesn't have the HP to be able to man up. Well, he's going to try. Starts blinking onto Skeeter. Starts going for him. Immediately starts retreating after hitting him
Are we
once.
stuck?
Stuck, but a force staff. There's plenty of those on the side of Falcons. Nisha's going to roll after him. Kicks him back over to Mickey. Throws some damage at half mana. Saberlight. He gets a little low. Nisha's going to commit. Got his BKB. Hitting false promises. Nisha, he dies. No mana on Insania. Can't bail out either one of his cores. Mickey turns around, gets a quick kill. Oh, he kills the Tuss and backs away. Not too bad there. Now he goes after Skeeter. Skeeter's actually quite low. Saberlight. He was able to take that fight, and a false promise finally comes in from Insania, bailing out Mickey. Saberlight is still chasing after heroes. It's going to be snaking, TPing out. They do not have a disable to stop that in time.
That is so close to being a disaster for Liquid. They're able to salvage it. The lack of mana on Insania was very concerning, but able to kite out the Medusa, the disarms adding up, and the Blade Mail BKB Earth Spirit, I guess he does his job here. Goes in, makes the sacrifice for the team. I like the disassemble play from Saberlight here to build a halberd that ended up putting his broadsword on the ground. He then picks up later.
Oh my god, I never saw that.
That is a 1,000 gold item that he just, I'm going to store on the ground for a little bit just to get that disarm in. Pick back up. I don't know if that's a next level play, a next level bad play.
You know,
Or
it didn't.
it's a Saberlight play.
It's a Saberlight play. It didn't get punished. It didn't get punished.
We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
Snaking dies on the Tormentor. It does give Amar his shards, so his right clicks are really building up. The Poison Burst combined with the shard and the fact that he's got this Manta as well, soon to be a BKB, or at least that's what he wants to build. Saberlight. Decay spams the mid lane down and blinks away. Falcons were moments away from catching him there.
Honestly, I feel like I'm liking Liquid's position again. They weathered that storm. You have the Butterfly now on Mickey. He does a lot more damage, a lot more survivability. And just the amount of disarms that are going to go into this Medusa between the Edict and the Halberd on this Undying, I don't really see Skeeter dealing with it that well. You mitigate a lot of the damage out from Falcons, and you put them in a position where now all of a sudden the Shaker has to jump in deep and find these supports. The Viper has to get more aggressive into a potential Tombstone or defensive positioning from Liquid.
Do you think the Butterfly is more effective for the TA than it is for the Dusa? Because that is going to be coming in very soon for Skeeter.
I think Skeeter's is stronger, but Mickey has his burst, and they're making the move.
Snaking, trying to get away. Oh, a Fissure, but they pull him back in.
That was
nice
an
kick
aggressive,
from Nisha.
That was an aggressive force staff, I think, from Boxy. Liquid have really been trying to force heroes into them.
Yeah.
Disjoint the ball from Falcons, reposition heroes, and it makes sense to me. And I think if they get the Shivas on Nisha, then their front line's in a really solid spot. That's the one missing component here on the side of Liquid is some extra armor.
Yes, and that armor is going to be coming in for Nisha soon. He's got Shivas, already has the plate mail component of it. Harpoon being built
I was eyeing that
by
up.
Saberlight, so not going the armor route, trusting in the Heaven's Halberd between the miss and the disarm, that he'll be able to contend with any physical damage coming his way.
I do think AC sounds pretty good for him here.
Yeah, I was thinking
the
the
minus
same.
armor for the TA, and then just the armor differential for yourself going in as aggressive as he is. It'll do a lot as this game scales on. He might still consider it later. This Harpoon is a lot more aggressive. It'll help you chase people down and stick on them. But if you're the one who gets stunned or chain stunned or punched and jumped,
Yeah.
it's not doing as much for you.
I feel like Harpoon means he specifically wants to target Amar, because Amar is the one with the Hurricane Pike.
Potentially. And you got to remember, this Harpoon interaction is super gimmicky, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you throw that out, even if you try and disjoint it, it just follows you.
Yeah.
It's a poor man's nullifier, some might say.
Sure. It's one way to look at it.
Very, very poor man.
Very poor man. Pipe for snaking soon, and the Butterfly is done for the Dusa. I mean,
They're tanking up in their own right.
those are some pretty big timings for Falcons.
BKB for Maureen also helps him a bit. Look for those jumps. We did see that Blink did get canceled in that high ground fight with the Tombstone.
Yeah.
That's something he can't really solve. It's more just about where you take the fight and your vision. Do you have high ground vision advantage? Are you the ones in the Roche pit forcing Liquid into you? Those types of fights are going to be better for the Shaker as opposed to going into Liquid's formation.
Insania is going to be so hard to catch.
Yes.
At least for defensive fights. He's got Psychic Headband and a Blink. Nisha's going to roll away before the arrows land from the Dusa.
And he's got a lot of front line to play around. All three of these Liquid cores can kind of play up far and not worry about getting bursted too much. So
Yeah.
how do you find Oracle in this type of game? And if you can't find Oracle, this hero is just absolutely nasty. He tends to win those long fights.
And now he's got a gem, so they should see and should make sure that Falcons never have vision on him for these fights. But it is still fights that are best for Liquid played defensively, and they are playing really defensively. They do have this top lane that's constantly pushing in, but it does mean that they're giving up control of the Roshan, but I guess that doesn't matter when you know exactly when Roshan spawns.
But you have to make that move. That's the important part here. It's not a Rosh you want to give away for free. There's a lot of gold sitting on that third Roshan. It's not an Aegis that's going to go down lightly when Medusa can push your base with 2 lives and give Falcons that favorable advantage. Especially with the amount that ATF's continuing to scale here. as well as this Enchantress. These are the two heroes you have to think about when this game goes ultra late. Are there just too many ranged hero threats for you to deal with? You get kited out. Yeah, maybe you take down this Nusa, but you end up losing the fight anyway. This is something we've seen teams struggle against Falcons in particular with, right? Too many scaling cores, too many problems in the ultra late. That's why this team is always happy to go the distance.
Advantage of knowledge for Liquid working right now with the later Roshan means that they are positioned pretty aggressively and farming up, where Falcons are mostly going to be playing around the pit. And Liquid knowing they don't have to make that contest for another minute and 10 seconds, so Nisha's going to get this wave all the way pushed in bottom lane.
And they need the minute. That's got Shiva's done off that previous wave, and almost more importantly, MKP for Mickey.
Yeah,
also being finished right now. So those are two huge items for Liquid arriving at exactly the right time. They're going to try and smoke and get aggressive here. Watch for Saberlight to just go and set the fight up. He does have Ceaseless Dirge available, so there's 2 lives on this Undying. On a Dire Outpost fight,
yeah,
he can get back there instantly. You don't have to throw the False Promise on him.
It's got a shield rune as well, though it is going to wear out.
These Deuce illusions are just giving so much information to Falcons right now, and Liquid don't have an easy way to deal with them. Kind of tough to push into here blind.
His second life is going to be pretty fearsome, too. He's just got the 20 talent, the decay. See how cleanly they can kill Saberlight without having to give up too much.
He wants to save his spells right here.
I think it's pretty clear they know Saberlight is just trying to throw away his life, and they finally go in and commit. Do manage to kill. Yule Scepter goes up in the air, and they're going to try and focus on the crit. Meanwhile, Nisha goes in with the Magnetize. Got a big one, too. Saberlight comes back into play, and here comes the Undying, ready to knock down Skeeter's trying to get away with his Stone Gaze right now. A Force Staff does get him some distance out. They're going to stick to Amar instead. Falcons, again, it's just the numbers. There's not much they can do about that. They're fighting on a Dire Outpost against an Undying with an extra life. You're just outnumbered.
I am surprised that Crit jumped in right there, because I think it ended up costing their positioning a lot. And you have to play around that passive. Saberlight's putting it in your face. He's like, please, commit something on me so my team gets a favorable fight. I'm not committing Tombstone. I'm not using Ultimate. And they bit the bait.
Without Crit jumping in, I thought it was free.
Yeah,
I thought it was just like, this is almost silly how free this life is.
Maybe the more concerning part of that fight, though, was how fast Skeeter was dying.
Oh, yeah.
To the shots from the TA. He's also the hero that has to kind of stand there and help kill the Tombstone.
Yep.
And the second that's all done, you have nothing left to work with. You have to just bail. ATF gets left behind. That's a fight where Falcons, in theory, had good positioning. The only downside was it was on Dire Outpost, which absolutely caused them a lot of problems with the multiple lives coming through.
There's another thought there. It was turning into Radiant side Roshan.
Yes.
We were going into daytime. Falcons did not have to take that fight the way they did. They could have just played for Roshan switching over to the other side and take away that entire advantage that Dire had there.
I think they were happy with their positioning. It's hard to argue against it.
Sure.
They just got baited a little far out, and that's all it takes. And now all of a sudden,
Foxy so close to catching Maureen.
We have to look at what this Roshan can do for Liquid now. An Aegis on a TA, potential high ground mechanism. You also have that level 25 talent available for Mickey. He took the refraction instances, so he's a lot stronger, a lot tankier. Yeah. He's got that MKB to pierce through the butterfly on the Medusa, who...
Oh, they're looking at him right now.
Do you want to jump the Aegis? I mean, you can take it and back off here.
They are going to take it. Are they going to get it twice? It is not easy. He got off the full promise, and Nisha is in big with the Magnetize. Oh, this is bad for Falcons. They're in some trouble now. Mickey on his life is going to be able to finish off one of these hills. He actually managed to heal all the way up. Nisha did die. Saberlight's in right in the middle with their Tombstone. Force that down to the low ground.
He's
but the Deuce is running out of mana, and the Undying just keeps on hitting. Mickey leaning into him, and there's nothing Skater can do. He can't find his way out of this one. The carry of Falcons is down, and Liquid takes it.
And a wasted buyback from Crit, just to add to the economic difficulties Falcons are facing right now. That was a risky jump. It's similar to that jump we saw earlier in mid lane. If you don't know where this Oracle is, he has Blink. He can get there very fast, and that just goes horribly wrong. That level 25 talent, the fact you have that off winning that Roach fight and getting Aegis counts for so much there. And guess what? You still have Aegis on this TA. Mickey never goes down.
They've got a minute without their carry. It's Falcons this time around who may have to give up, but of course Falcons will always make the defense despite the numbers.
That's a potential
Sableye
buyback.
jumps in right into the middle of all these heroes. He's popped his BKB. There's no way out of this one for this one. He's just kind of stuck. He's gonna die like this. Liquid, there goes your high ground push.
That was a little too antsy. And a nice fissure block from Maureen. Just locks Saberlight in place. No Force Staff available to bail him out. Liquid will have to lick their wounds here. I think they wanted more off that timer on the Medusa, and they're not going to get it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Shrug
With
it off.
Sableye dead for a minute, the Aegis only up for 2 minutes. It really doesn't give Liquid a window for a second chance.
Where's the damage going to come from in these fights for Falcons? We are seeing big damage issues. There's so much HP to get through. Especially Oracle just sitting behind, healing everybody. And the biggest problem, again, is can you solve this disarm problem on the Medusa? Because I am watching these fights, and there must be 10 to 15 seconds Skeeter sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's just getting fate thieved, he's getting halberded. He's sitting there, maybe you get 1 or 2 hits off, then you're disarmed again.
He's supposed to have 2 scaling cores. He's supposed to have Amar, and he's supposed to have Maureen, but I haven't seen much of an impact in particular from this Viper.
Oracle just ruins this hero's day. It's a hero that has to commit on a single target, build up the stacks, output a huge amount of magical damage, and convert on the kill. If that hero ends up getting saved, especially if it's a hero you start on, it resets all that momentum in the fight. Suddenly this Viper has to do that all over again.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the sustained damage items like, you know, Daedalus, AC, Butterfly, whatever from a traditional right-click carry.
Sure.
This is a Shiva's Hurricane Pike Viper.
A little bit of extra mobility for Insania. He barely got there in the nick of time from that Blink Dagger play earlier. Now an extra bit.
Yeah, this telescope is super value on the Oracle right now. He's going to pick up the Aether Lens as well. This is a very tough hero for Falcons to deal with if they can't find him in the fight. We're seeing Shadowblade from Maureen, something to help you maybe get there. The other item I would go to is the Tusk Ags, right? Just, okay, screw that whole type of fight. Let's just go on the front line we see, kick him back into us, and take the fight that way. I think it is really nice for Liquid's lineup.
Yeah, if they have to use their Blink Daggers just to try and get to the fight.
Exactly.
And not actually get on top of your heroes.
And then you can stop this Oracle saving that hero because it's just too far away.
Yeah.
But that buyback from Crit, that's another reason it's so costly in a game like this. That Ags is just so far away for the Tusk.
Insania just got a really nice aggressive ward down. We'll see whether or not Liquid's able to make some sort of smoke play to that at some point.
5-man smoke from Falcons. Ward gets put on Sentry Ops. Liquid know they're here.
Yep, they see it. And Saberlight in a position to break this smoke.
So how aggressive do you want to get right now if
They
you
got
don't find
the
anybody?
scan from Falcons. They know there's a hero here, and I think they understand that this is not a situation that this is a free pickoff or a team fight. They know Liquid's kind of set up.
You can't run in here if you're
Send
Falcons.
the illusion to do some scouting here.
You have to respect these high ground fight points.
Falcons back up to their own high ground situation. Will take the outpost. And
It's
maybe
another smoke
push this
that-
tier 2, force Liquid into them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's kind of a dangerous spot. Again, you're really near objectives for Liquid where the Undying can come back very quickly.
You could TP onto the tier 3 at any point in time.
Bold failure.
An awkward time for a pause as Liquid are smoke pushing into Falcons right now. Falcons are not going to have the immediate high ground advantage.
I mean, this is... Well, that might be true, but it's about to get a lot more exciting for you in the next few minutes here. I must say, this next fight looks extremely difficult.
We'll see who's going to be eating those words. In the coming team fight, will it be Falcons or Liquid taking it in a dead even game at 46 minutes? The net worth lead is just nothing.
Just look at the buyback situation. Before this fight commences, you're looking at 4 buybacks available for Liquid in a fight near their base, plus that Undying passive. Like, this is not a favorable numbers fight for Falcons at all. Their positioning is going to have to be absolutely immaculate.
Dire's bottom tower
They do have a
is under
high ground
attack.
ward spot here.
Well, Liquid's really split right now. This is kind of weird.
Yeah,
the
half of
smoke
them-
breaks. Falcons immediately on the retreat, though.
Oh, they bannered the high ground for vision.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. That would have been a cool play if they had everyone from Liquid to make that move, but...
You remember I theory cracked this a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's good. If you're in a situation where you don't feel like you can just force the high ground, then this banner is more useful to win the fight that lets you go high ground. A very cheeky play will not pan out here, but it definitely spooked Falcons, and that is an entire Assault Kuros done for the Enchantress. That's going to be some extra scale.
Can't believe Maureen was able to push to the gate like that.
I mean, Falcons are getting what they want. I just wonder if it's enough.
Okay, now this is going to be really crucial. This next Roshan spawn, a fast Roshan, dire advantage, big for Liquid. But if it's a late Roshan, it'll go over to the Radiant side.
And that is way better for Falcons.
And that is so much better for Falcons. You can't just use that undying free death the start of the fight in TPN.
I mean, you can't use all your buyback availability either.
Nope. And it'll also be in the opposite side of the top wave that is constantly pushing in, which is just constant thorn in Liquid's side as they're dealing with it right now, and Falcons are going to take advantage of the situation, take the Tormentor.
Falcons also want another minute or two here to get level 25 on the two cores that are very close to it. The Shaker and the Medusa are level 24. Nisha also level 24. These are very impactful talents to get before a Roche or game-deciding fight.
Nisha, he might catch somebody here, and they know it's a fast Roshan too. His smoke broke! He's not going to roll in time. The TP already completes from snaking. Everybody's out from Falcons.
So do you switch sides of the map right now if you're Falcons? Do you run everybody top? This Roche is spawn.
Yeah, Liquid know it too, so they're going to have to go through the gate here.
If you want to contest this, you have to start going. I think this contest looks really difficult.
Yeah, with Liquid already set up, and you said it early on, you said, you know, contesting any of these Roshan pit fights for Falcons when Liquid is already set up is very difficult because of the Tombstone, right?
It just seems impossible, especially if it's dire side. So this is an Ags Roche. We'll see who opts to take this. I mean, is there an Undying Ags potential here?
Yeah, I mean, he took the 20 talent, so if you've already buffed up the decay, why not buff it up some more?
Oh yeah, we are gonna see that extra strength gain.
Oh, he's got overwhelming blink.
This did get nerfed a little bit, you have to remember, but it is still debilitating. If this fight lasts longer than 30 seconds, it's over for Falcons.
Oh,
like, there's no way you are winning the long fight here.
I mean, I would say even less than 30. Harpoon trying to pull him in.
Yes,
Yules, and he's got a blink. Oh, the overwhelming blink, or the neutral item, rather.
Yes, blink
the
again.
Havoc's hammer does manage to hit him, and they just constant AoE damage. No way out for crit.
Dude, this Undying is going to be massive in the fight.
Oh, look at this move from Falcons, though. They see all these heroes on the other side of the map, and Maureen and Skeeter trying to make a move to top where they know a wave is pushing in. If Mickey tries to push this out...
Oh, he's got to play it safe.
He's got to play it safe and deal with the mid wave.
Again, though, even moves like that are risky because you just don't know where this Oracle is.
Yeah.
And Ags finished for the TA here. He's going to buy it himself. So you now have that extra map mobility for the Templar Assassin. Will help Liquid deal with this top lane where you got to remember they did lose that Rax up there way earlier in this game.
Yeah.
And it's been a nuisance. It's a lane you can throw Enchantress creeps into as well. Double catapults up there right now.
He's going to be getting all of his other talents now, as well as he gets these levels up. So Refraction can be cast while disabled, some extra meld armor reduction, and then the meld the bash.
This lineup just scales super well. Like, this is not a game you're afraid to go late if you're Liquid here. Still have Aegis for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
doesn't seem like they're too interested in forcing high ground, though.
He'll be able to deal with top thanks to the Aghanim Scepter and still join his team wherever they choose to go.
And these level 25 talents are starting to roll in. So you got the big one for the Shaker with the cooldown on the totem.
Yep.
You got Medusa split shot modifier. You have Daedalus. We could see Skeeter maybe trying to use it a little bit more as the game goes on, but you also got Undispellable Magnetize on this Earth Spirit.
That's such a rough one.
And that is, it's a game-changing talent, right?
Yeah.
No way around it.
I do, especially in this matchup, both sides have very tanky cores. You know the team fight's going to go a while.
100%.
And that is so terrible for Falcons. Between the Decays with the Aghanim Scepter, between the Magnetize that's undispellable.
The Oracle healing.
The Oracle healing as
well.
well.
The low cooldown Bushwhacks Foxy's going to be throwing out. There's so much that make these long fights favorable for Liquid. Especially when you have 2 Magnetizes, so.
Yeah. Which means Falcons are going to need a really good initiation. They're going to need a good jump from Malrine.
Yep.
He's got to come in clutch.
A lot rests on Malrine's shoulders right now. You have to get a clean jump, you have to make it work, and then I almost think you have to disengage and make it happen again later on. Try and look for that fissure that can catch the Oracle while you go on a frontline target. Is always an option. You can also just play the high ground defense fight yourself with buybacks.
I mean, they're sitting up here, but if Mickey gets the... Oh, Saberlight just jumped in and dropped the culture on the high ground! What an absolute madman! Pops the BKB, pops the ultimate, and starts laying into the Viper. Mars in trouble, has to force out down to the low ground. Falcons on full retreat now. Crib with the TP away. No shot, he just did that. Meanwhile, Nisha rolls out on Slippery.
He's dying.
Skeeter trying to deal with it. He does manage again. I'm just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, the Undying, stone gazed up. He's going to die here.
This fight is not working out for Liquid, despite having the high ground tombstone that stopped all the Shaker initiation. The disengage from Falcons. Absolutely on point there.
What a reset from Falcons. That was sick.
Yeah, I don't know how they got out of that. And it felt like Saberlight was getting everything he wanted there. High ground tombstone, early ult pop. The only downside, I think, for Liquid was that false promise got thrown on him fairly early. And then you don't have it for Earth Spirit.
Insania, and they know the ultimate's on cooldown for a while here, but there's still the Aegis. False promise is going to be used. They take out crits. I mean, do they really want to try and take this kill onto Mickey anyway? Saberlight's going to try and join in here. Skeeter's going to turn around, deal with him. Mickey is going for the Viper right now. Mars stuck inside the Bushwhack, and Mickey will be able to get that kill. 25 seconds left on the Aegis. Malrine hunting for it. He's going to be Fisher blocked in, and there goes the first life. Second life, buybacks. Liquid, Boxy going to use his. What about Nisha? Is Nisha going to try and help him out here? Bushwhack goes out. Can they get Mickey out of here? Stun after stun. A force staff, another one. Trying to get him away, but Malrine haunting his tail. And it looks like Mickey is not getting out of here. Echo Slam to put him down.
They want
and
the Oracle.
Fisher to chase after for more. The Oracle is going to die as well. The Bushwhack comes in. Way to blink. Not up in time. And Malrine pounces again.
Falcons smell blood in the water, and they take everything off a botched team fight from Liquid that looked so good and went so bad. The smiley face comes out from Malrine as a lot of momentum just changed hands in this game. Now all of a sudden it's Skeeter pushing base. This Daedalus gave him the damage they needed, and there was no answer for Dusa in a lot of these fights with the ults on cooldown. You just didn't have it.
Skeeter wants the full megas.
Yeah, you're missing that top max.
If they're going to take this, they're going to have the buyback. Nisha makes the initiation.
Remember,
focusing on Skeeter here.
He has 2 magnetizes.
He does, and he can play it slow, refreshes it up, throws a kickback into Snake King, remagnetize. Insania trying to help from the side. Looks like they've got Skeeter, and Falcons are just going to cut their losses. They say it's fine, you killed our carry. We got all your buybacks.
Mickey buyback down the drain. That is going to be a big one in this game as you look towards the next big objectives. At least you save your megas here, but that's 3 heroes with no buyback on cooldown. One's missing it off the gold. And Falcons, they are just slowly grinding out a favorable position here.
They are.
This is what this team is probably the best in the world at and what they are known for. And now all of a sudden you're level 25 on this Viper.
Yeah,
Universal talent?
He doesn't really have the best build for the Universal.
No, he does not. That's why I think he's considering both here. But they're both strong damage talents. He will take the Universal. His Viper now hits for almost 350 a pop. And you got to remember, he has some attack speed aura off the Enchantress, who, by the way, picked up a Hex.
Ooh, look at this play. Liquid.
Also level 25.
Liquid are pushing out right now.
Is this just a YOLO attempt to make something happen? You don't have buybacks here.
Radiant
There's no way you're just rolling into their base without buybacks. You do have the Ags on the Earth Spirit, so you can stone kickback here.
I think they wanted to be able to catch some sort of hero and see if Skeeter would panic buyback, but Falcons are just going to sit safely inside their base. They're not risking anything here. They know that as long as they don't use this buyback on Skeeter, they have a massive advantage in the Roshan that is soon to spawn. And Liquid are going to left with a choice. Do they give up that Roshan or do they fight it? And potentially, if they lose that fight, the game's over.
They cannot lose another team fight in this game. And they cannot lose another lane of racks. So there's a lot at stake here for Liquid right now. Falcons are just going to wait out the clock. Regroup is 5. And if they can find a way to take a fight that uses their buyback advantage,
They got an expansion on crit. They're going to force staff him in. Nisha chases after him with the roll in. Magnetize out on 2. A start for Liquid, but again, the disengage from Falcons looks really nice. It is a clean escape. And Liquid know well enough not to keep chasing into it like last time, but now they've used some big spells.
You do have to keep in mind the amount of HP on this Undying now. He has that level 25 talent that gives him the extra strength off the ult.
Oh, yeah.
He goes up a lot real fast.
It's almost 10,000 HP.
It's just not a target you want to waste too much time on. It's a target you want to kill through attrition, right? Just split shot hitting him, focus someone else.
I mean, Falcons, with that Flesh Golem on cooldown now, Magnetize on cooldown for a little bit as well. Are you going to wait?
Going base.
They're just going to go for the base.
They know there's no glyph. Still on cooldown here.
Radiant are scanning.
You also have to think about 60-minute neutral items. The tier 5's coming out in a minute and a half here.
They play to their Radiant Ward, and as the mid-wave pushes in, Falcons.
Roche is up.
Are they going to go for the high ground push? They're going to deal with the Tormentor real quick. Maybe they aren't going to go for the high ground. It was an interesting idea. The safer play would certainly be just go for Roshan, guys.
I mean,
They're probably not going to fight us.
They want to force Liquid to base, get the lanes in, and then they control the Roche.
They do need that extra life. They do need that extra bit of oomph that Roshan gives you, because all of these fights, they're messy, but they've been playing really well in Falcons to be able to reset, retreat. When you're pushing into Liquid's base, that's a different ballgame entirely.
Yes. And right now I'm looking at Liquid going into Falcons while Maureen, he's lagging a little bit behind, trying to get through this gate to get to the team.
Liquid are going to contest this Roshan.
I mean, again, it's a positional advantage for Falcons. It's a vision advantage for Falcons. But it is not a part of the map where they have buyback utility advantage.
Yeah, they would have to buy back and TP to the outpost and go through the gate. That's a lot of time. The only person who does have buyback is Saberlight. So Saberlight, his innate isn't up yet, but he at least has the buyback to be able to play with. Liquid are going to be cutting the wave, making sure.
Does have another banner as well he can throw for vision. And I think he will.
Boxy. He's going to look in. Acorn shot immediately jumped on. He's got an Eon Disc though. The Undying tries to get a high ground tombstone, does manage to do so. The Viper is up there though. Echo Slam, double Echo Slam, Maureen. There's the false promise on Mickey though. Spots Insania. Maureen going to chase after him. And Glimmer Cape trying to get him away. The Bushwhack doesn't land in time. Meanwhile, on the right side, Nisha, he needs some help. And that's where Mickey starts coming in, trying to help him out. The Hurricane Pipe puts him back. Nisha making a roll away. No way. He just got out of that. And he remagnetizes them as well. A buyback from Crit joining the team now. Falcons.
This fight is so split.
Nisha is TPing away. Liquid, they may have gotten a kill, gotten a buyback, but they use so much they can't keep this going. They can't go for a second team fight. This Roche, I think it's all Falcons now.
Especially going to the Radiant side where they have almost all their buybacks available outside of that Tusk they just used. And what do you have to take that fight with if you're Liquid? No Undying ult, no Tombstone for 25. You used the refresher on the Earth Spirits. You're working with half your kit.
Time to get 60-minute items. That's what's left.
Yep. You're going to need it. And that's going to be an Aegis onto the Viper, who's starting to pick up the scale. A refresher shard for Falcons, which honestly, I don't know if it's too useful here. You already had the refresher on the Shaker, so you can give it over to Skeeter, which is probably your best target here. Give the Medusa, double Stone Gaze. Double Manta, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the highest impact refresher shard drop, but They'll take it away from Liquid for sure, because it would have been great for them.
Dude, that's nasty. Stygian Desolator on a Dusa. All those split shots putting this minus armor on everybody.
Yeah, that is juicy right here. We're going to see Giants ring for the Tusk. And Maureen, he rolls the Force Boots here. Super powerful late game item, bringing up the extra slot, giving the move speed, the mobility.
His mobility is insane.
Yeah, this item's just bonkers.
Giant's Ring Undying. Oh my god, he's gonna do so much. Like, it's 100% of his strength when he pops Flesh Golem.
Austin, is there such a thing as too much strength? Has he gone too far? Has science gone too far?
What is Frankenstein's monster that we've created here?
The thing is, he can have all the strength in the world, but what can he do with it?
Well, I mean, Giant's Ring isn't just HP, right? It's also it's 100% of your strength per second. That's not small when you pop Flesh Golem.
I guess the harpoon's paying off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just existing, and he's going to do 400 plus damage a second. It's like 450 damage a second.
We should also note this Book of Shadows on Boxy. It's going to be a very pivotal save. Now you have two supports who can bail you out in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
Some extra gold coming from the Pirate's Hat on Insania, and they ended up with Arcanist armor on Nisha's Earth Spirit. So just when you thought that front line for Liquid couldn't get any tankier,
yeah,
it's going to push it up there even more. Arcanist armor on ATF to match him, though.
Yeah.
And Pirate Hat on Snaking. So basically both teams ended up with the same neutral items. 4 for 4 at least.
I mean, similar ideas kind of showcase.
This Pirate Hat on Enchantress is insane, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's way better than the one on Oracle,
yeah,
that's for sure.
It's doing a bit more DPS. Man, Falcons, they got to this ultra late in a lot better of a position than I thought they were going to be able to, and now they are the ones bringing the fight to
they're
Liquid.
approaching the high ground, but it is so dangerous. Dangerous blink and Skeeter just jumps right into the middle of them. Saberlight immediately gonna pop his Flesh Golem and try and deal with this one. Skeeter, he's getting through. Oh, a big hit. Takes out Boxy immediately. Half in mana, Amar on the high ground. Does Major Hurricane Pike his way down. Saberlight, as much strength as he has, he's still at half HP. Shiva's rolling from Nisha, doesn't connect. Falcons once again resetting, kiting Liquid over and over again. They got a buyback out of Boxy. They got one of the buildings, one of the barracks. They say, we're good with that.
They got Flesh Golem.
They're draining them dry. Yeah, if they go back in with Flesh Golem on cooldown, I mean, at this point in time, Saberlight's just going to have to buy a refresher just to cover this potential weak point.
Man, the way they're disengaging these fights it's just a beauty to watch.
Yeah.
Like the fissures landing on multiple heroes, force staffing over the cliff lines. You can see Saberlight trying to do as much as he can, knowing he's invincible with the 10k HP. But it's only doing so much here. Falcons, they're eyeing a return to this Liquid high ground.
I mean, Liquid, this one has to work for them. And they pop another refresher, another Flesh Golem, and Falcons just get to reset to this high ground. They're in trouble.
Okay, refresher arrives for Saberlight. He will instantly pop it. So
yeah,
it's now available. He's running that cooldown. He has everything up for the next fight. There's a lot of traps on this ground defending as well.
MKB, dude, this Enchantress is gonna hit so hard.
He's a beast,
Smoke
man.
breaks. Jump on Saberlight, Saberlight! They already got him to half HP, he's almost dead, but saved by the Oracle. Had to use the false promise for that one. Saberlight's gonna blink onto the Dusa. Oh, they popped the glyph as well, Skeeter. He's gonna man up for the buildings here. Malrain couldn't get the Echo Slam. They're going in for the Megas, and he will manage to get it. Meanwhile, Saberlight died. Instant buyback. Instant refresh out Nisha. He got to magnetize all these heroes and Saberlight. He's going to go after him. Got Amar on the Aegis. Saberlight pushing forward. Has the Tombstone. Harpoon's back in Snaky.
They want ATF.
Dealing with the Amar right now. Does manage to get BKB. Force down to the low ground. TP out. Falcons. They're getting away. They got away with murder. Oh, if all they lose is snaking off of this one. Falcons just absolute cinema. Time and time again, these disengages are just too damn good.
They do not have to kill heroes to win this game, because right now they are decimating Liquid's base. They're decimating their economy. They got Megas out of that. They got another buyback. They got both tier 4s off of catapults, just killing them themselves through mid.
Yup.
And ATF just TPs out right in front of you. You need more stunts in this lineup. You need the Abyssals. You need Hexes. You need Divine Strength at this point. to chop through the tank ability on this Medusa.
Okay.
Ags for Oracle as well. This is
For Oracle?
This is a very different Ags than it used to be. It gives you a decent amount of spell damage, but it also reduces your BAT, which is incredibly powerful on the right heroes in Dota.
Yeah.
On TA, I think it is about average, but it's still a pretty big damage buff in the fight. You can also just throw it on the Earth Spirit. That's a lot of extra spell damage going through. I mean, you just need anything you can get at this point if you're Liquid, right?
Why would he get the? Why do you think he went Ags over Refresher?
You need more damage.
Yeah.
That's what I think. This Medusa is just existing on the front line for way too long, and you don't have enough to throw into her. You need as much control and damage as you can pump out right now if you're Liquid. You can kind of get these mega lanes out, but you're going to have to win a team fight into buybacks against Falcons in the ultra late game, and that is no easy task.
No, not at all.
And that is the downside of this Divine Purchase. It looks great on paper, but you're going to have to remember, how do you eventually win this game as Liquid? In Falcons base, they're always going to have those buybacks available. You can't play a fight where you go down once and go back in if you're giving up Divine Rapiers. So they're going to have to find a lot cleaner initiations. They're going to have to start the fights on their terms. They're going to have to make this Undying work, because Saberlight, he's incredibly strong, he's incredibly tanky, but he's having issues sticking onto targets and dealing extra damage and control.
Yeah, he's going to pick up an Abyssal Blade next. That'll give you one of the stuns that you were looking for, but you need more.
And Skeeter, he picks up a very late BKB, but I like it. An item that is going to help him ignore a lot of the disarms, a lot of the annoying, just kiting mechanisms that are stopping him dealing damage in the fight. Another disengage item if it comes down to it as well.
Oh, don't forget Avery. He's got that super good talent coming in soon. The +1 Gorgon's Grasp.
Can't forget about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is just one of the most impactful talents that Dota2 has to offer.
Are you complaining about Medusa's scale right now? They're eyeing up mid-game on this wave. He's got Divine.
Where's the Oracle at? Saberlight jumps into them, got a tombstone, and is on top of heroes. Just what the Liquid supposedly want to be able to see, but again, they're disengaging. Again, the Forceps, the hop away. Oh, they're chasing after an Enchantress and not even able to get that. Meanwhile, they're going to go through the throne. Skater's pushing for it. Oh, there goes Crit. Malraine's going after it as well. They've got no clips. There's nothing to stop them now. Falcons will end it and take game one.
Absolutely. For Liquid that can all start the fight and get the job done.
Yeah, it certainly feels like when they jump something, they will have an easier time jumping something. And when they do jump something, they kind of have a guaranteed kill. Like you get some sort of toss back into a grab from the Primal Beast, feels like that kill is guaranteed. But we might be starting off with the first blood as Crit is going to find himself the victim of a tree from behind.
Nice little head start for Nisha here. And honestly, that's probably one of those heroes you really wanted on compared to maybe most of his mid-hero pool, because I think Tiny's a lot more susceptible in this patch to needing a good start and needing that momentum. He feels a bit slower than he did at even TI, for example, or the patches before that, where he was just solo killing supports off cooldown. It's a bit of a slower build-up. You need some early regen items. Ideally, you want a little bit of the hard camp stacking to go your way, and you want 1 or 2 power runes. First Blood just helps accelerate that bottle a lot, which means your spells just start going to work a lot faster here. Nice start for Liquid. They strike first.
Well, I will say Liquid kind of proved us wrong and surprised us with how well they were able to cope with the laning phase in game one. We'll see whether or not Falcons is able to do the same, particularly with this advantage that Nisha managed to get himself the bottle. After all, he's got something to prove. Malrine was being rather loud in game one.
Malrine just started boots, so I assume he's just going to try and push this lane out as much as possible, dodge the right clicks from the Tiny, and eventually just head into some jungle stacking of his own. But this could be a slow bottle from him, particularly versus Nisha, who's going to have Wand start here, plus bottle coming pretty fast. Maybe Nisha can open up some sort of mid-advantage here in the early game. Use that first blood to leverage into something greater.
Yeah, right now he's doing a very good job with the tree and getting some of these extra last hits. But if he doesn't get them, he does get punished by the build-up of the Caustic finale that Malrine's putting in. Our other lanes, advantages and disadvantages. We've got the bottom lane, Mickey, playing his Monkey King, probably one of his best heroes alongside Insania's Phoenix. Meanwhile, Crit is going to be rocking the Muerta and Amar. He's going to be playing, I mean, this guy's got so many signature heroes at this point in time, but I feel like in this patch, in this meta, Bristleback is one of his scariest heroes to go to.
I go back to that game that went over 60 minutes and he had the Force Boots Bristle. He just became Sonic the Hedgehog. He was absolutely unstoppable, 730 MS. You let him get to that point, he's probably winning the game. This hero is just an absolute beast at that point. And of course, Amar, he knows how to farm, he knows how to get there fast. So Liquid are going to try and take the aggression to him in the laning phase, burn out some of his regen, make him invest more, slow him down. Ideally, get some vision on the stacks if you can, if you win this lane really to that degree. And then he's just not off to the races as much as he wants to be, because the levels 3 to 5 on this Bristleback, ATF can really surprise you with how fast the kills build up. If he gets that 1 or 2 juicy kills he's looking for, then you're not going to stop him again, right?
Yeah. At the same time, it is a melee matchup against Monkey King. In the other side of the map, we do have the Primal Beast Hoodwink, which is a pretty dangerous lane. A lot of offense there available, though Ogre Gyrocopter is certainly not a weak lane.
And they got to the level 2 on the Ogre, which with the learning curve is, you just want to get here with as little regen traded as possible. Then you can start to use the spell advantage. Cyril's not that easy to trade with if he can keep you a little bit low. His HP is no joke in the early stages of this game when you're trying to nuke it down with spell damage. So this lane's going quite well for Falcons on the early side of things. Though Skeeter having a little trouble CSing versus the high base damage of that Primal.
Yeah, probably a big reason why they were trying to run him down with the Ignites and constant spam of the Rocket Barrage. Nice bushwhack. Does manage to get the Lotus into Sableye hands, and he's going to use that damage from the Uproar to burst down Snake King.
That's an awkward fight on that Lotus pool.
That's an awkward timing there for Maureen, who really wanted to cut the wave. Find himself caught in Nisha's grasp.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble here.
Flying high in the sky, Maureen. Take a moment to think about.
He's not dead or anything, though, so.
No, he's just going to take a bit of damage. We'll see whether or not he probably can't pull the wave. So it's going to match underneath tower, which is something he did not want.
Might have been eyeing this bottom bounty rune even with this triple range going into Nisha. He has some time to maybe go get it. We'll see what he opts for.
Meanwhile, how's day one going for everybody here? It's always good to be able to bring Dota back to Southeast Asia. It's always a pleasure to be able to. He couldn't tip. What? That's the important part. Thank you, Mickey.
I mean, he's a TI winner now, so.
Yeah, he finally does a little bit of talking.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him talk chat, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
When you got your
All right, back into the game.
Dire structures are fortified.
So Maureen glyphs off of the toss, so the range creeps are open for denies here.
This is looking like a strong start for Liquid across all 3 lanes. I don't really see their cores getting too pressured, especially with the kind of misplay around that Lotus pool top. Nisha with the first blood start on mid with the extra regen, and Monkey King is just a tough hero to abuse early. In fact, they're going to commit a TP down here from Boxy.
Yeah, this is an interesting move. Amar.
Oh, the boots arriving for the Monkey.
Yeah, he's going to chase him down with the Jingu Mastery, the extra bit of damage. They're going to chase after Crit. And we'll be able to get this kill with the dive of Insania. They'll make sure they claim it. And part of the reason they make that move is because the top wave was pushing in. So Sableye was going to be fine in a solo play there.
I mean, he's more than fine. He is dealing some serious damage to Skeeter. Get the extra regen for the gyro.
This also comes at the same time that Maureen was cutting that mid wave, so Boxy maybe thought there was an opportunity to cut onto mid.
They're going
to go back to Amar. Crit. What can he do to stop this? Bushwhack lands. Got it. Goal. A shot. A dead shot. He is so low on the side of the Monkey, but it is Boxy who dies. Amar almost got 2 kills off of that one.
You gotta respect the stacks coming off this Bristleback right now.
Seriously.
You are losing the 3-on-2. The other lanes are going okay, but this is not what you want out of this pseudo tri-lane. Especially with Boxy TPing down here. Big committal for him. He's going to have to walk back top probably here.
Yeah, what are you going to do in this window of time? Are you going to walk back out to bottom or top?
And the thing is, you're happy with static side lanes because Nisha is absolutely free-farming mid. He got both water runes at that 4-minute mark, which forces Malrine to go up for this top bounty. He's just straight jungling at this point. This Sand King is... He's going to farm the jungle fast, but this Tiny is... He's in God mode right now.
Yeah, CS is going to be a little bit deceptive. Sand King may be on top, but net worth-wise, Nisha's up by a good 400.
Yep, he's cruising. And just farming to his heart's delight. It's going to be a fast 6 here. Tread's already done. He's big. Could easily see him TPing to one of these side lane skirmishes. He has the resources to do it. So Liquid have a lot to play with right here. They should be eyeing this 6-minute power rune. It's theirs for the taking if they want to commit for it. See where
Dive
Boxy
through,
goes.
hits both heroes. Decent damage, and got the Jingu stack. So Mickey will likely be able to get back up to decent HP. He's got some stacks. Saberlight gonna go for the dive onto Snake King's Ogre. Fire Blast stalls the death, but does not prevent it. Saberlight will try and pull. He does have a missile making its way to him right now. And Boxy can't stop it, but we will try and stall up the gyrocopter. Meanwhile, Malrine constantly has something to say to Nisha.
Well, Nisha's a boring player, so he has to make it a bit more exciting for
Right,
himself.
he is trying to make it a little bit more interesting. That's true. Another Lotus for Saberlight. He's got 2 of them.
I have no doubt Nisha has him muted, so...
He did respond earlier.
He was looking at Insania's monitor.
Ah, that's a clever move. That's a clever move. Insania still has a dive, so he's not really in danger here. Falcons pushing pretty far forward there.
Sending up damage kind of down the drain. Really strong rune on this hero with the new way the Stinger works, getting in the middle of these fights. And it's a huge wave going in top for Falcons right now. They double wave this up with the catapult. They have Bloodlust on the gyro. So yeah, Sable's going to have to come back up here and respond. No dive potential. This is a tough hero to dive for them. So Wisdom runes will get split. Ancients will get stacked on both sides. And this early game, very even across the board. Outside of Nisha just having absolute free farm on that mid.
Yeah, another situation where we thought maybe a team had a bit of a laning phase advantage doesn't actually come out the case. It seems like both teams are just good enough at being able to do the little things to change the narrative of the laning phase. Malrine doing all this pulling and stuff. He's still significantly behind in net worth, but at least his side lanes are picking up some of the slack.
I think if they had converted on that tri-lane bottom when they had that window,
yeah,
you would have seen the advantage built for Liquid. They just couldn't
Missed
get it.
the bushwhack. Immediately the response TPing in from Crit. See if they can get Saberlight here with the Deadshot, Fire Blast, and the missile all landing. At the same time, he does have Lotus and Magic Wand charges, so Saberlight not gonna die.
Just too tanky. 4.3 strength gain.
That
is 8-minute power rune. See if Malrine can get it a second time, and he does. Gets an arcane rune for himself.
And the all chat?
Nisha trying to punish, but of course.
Austin, where's the all chat? I'm waiting.
I'm sure it's coming. Look at Nisha. He planted a ward. Malrine knows that a play is coming his way. Good read.
So this is the triangle scouting that you wanted to see from Liquid. Just get eyes on the stacks here. Make sure they're not out of control.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy for the bristle or the gyro to fall back on. There's a couple stacks here, but nothing absurd. That's still a great sign because now you know, okay, they're not going to go in here and defend some crazy objective that we're going to have to deal with. We have a lot more time and space to play with, which is going to get Nisha to his blink. Because once this Tiny gets blink, you can start to open up the map.
Yeah, this is interesting. Nisha continuing to play on the jungle. Saberlight took mid for him, so it let Nisha stay out on the map. But Nisha's continuing not to find anything here as Amar is cleared out from that triangle. The bottom wave is pushing in. It seems fairly obvious, though, that Liquid are really trying hard to make a move here. They'll find a double Ancient stack.
Well, they can 5-man the tower.
They brought Saberlight down here as well. This is kind of crazy how much Liquid committed to this bottom lane.
They can gate top, and they can TP up there and try and kill the push-in from Falcons coming on this top lane.
They're letting Insania catch the mid-wave that is pushing in. Saberlight is going to have to go a really long way around to be able to get to his tier 1 tower.
Yeah, this
and
ends
they're
up being
cutting him
awkward.
off.
The flank from Falcons
This is going to be pretty crucial. How is he going to be able to use this onslaught to get out of here? Can he even get it off at all as he is caught in the pass, silenced up, chain stun? No chance. Meanwhile, though, Wukong's command is out and Skeeter needs to be able to get out of the AoE, but he's caught inside an avalanche, will be run down.
So both teams not really expecting the position from the other. I think the move from Falcons was preemptively setting up for that TP attempt from Liquid. They were just early. And so Skeeter ends up feeling stronger than he actually is. Liquid ended up committing to the move on the gyro regardless. They get the big prize. I think Liquid are still happy with that exchange.
Yeah.
Your Tiny's still on top. Now you're going to be able to push in this top wave and exert more pressure on this tier 1. You did get that tier 1 bottom, which in most games isn't that influential a tower. When you have 3 stack farming cores, that's honestly not that invaluable a tower to take. You're going to open up both those ancient camps. It's going to let you get vision in there easier. It's going to let you smoke and contest them easier.
At the same time, I don't think Falcons is too sad about the situation either. Right? They lost their carry, but they also got time to farm on Malrine and Amar.
Of course. But that's just how this lineup's always going to function. Like,
sure.
Liquid can always gank one hero in this game. It's never going to net them advantage in terms of the net worth, because the other cores are always going to be farming. So you have to center these moves around objectives as well. You have to get kills that convert into towers or kills that convert into map control or wards that can then help you make a move that's not as committal later on. You do not want to make 5-man smoke moves in this game because Falcons are just going to farm the whole map. You're going to feel bad regardless of what the outcome is.
Because Insania is level 6, he is trying to hold that safe lane tower from Amar's pushes. Meanwhile, Malrine trying to make a move at top, but doesn't find the opportunity, so he says, screw it, I'm just gonna farm until I get my Blink Dagger.
Yeah, both teams want the mid blink. It's gonna come first for the Tiny here, who's just wailing on this tier 1.
And with the toss, he will be able to finish it off. Doesn't get the last hit, though. His attack is too slow.
I mean, he's a Tiny, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Nonetheless, blink done, instantly put into that smoke. This should be a clean pick off whoever they see, as long as they can find somebody.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be snaking right as Malrine was showing himself too. So I think they would have much rather go for Malrine, but snaking, he tanks it instead.
This will be Power Rune as well. So it's a nice little extra bonus on this, and now you can evade that triangle because you still have that Observer Ward there.
They're going to spot Amar. Mickey goes for him really early. Nisha's going to jump onto him with the avalanche, and they got the break on him. The toss is coming in, and they finish him off with the Wukong's command and will take that ancient stack as well. Liquid is probably one of the teams that it is hardest to convert ancient stacks against. These guys will invade, and they're not afraid to bring every single hero for it.
That's a beautiful move. It's an advantage that's compounded. You know, taking that tier 1 bottom, taking the tier 1 mid, getting the Power Rune. You have that Observer on the triangle from the earlier move. All of those little things set that play up and just make it so easy for you to go in with confidence, commit on this Bristol, who is a hero that can turn around some of those games deep in the triangle if the rest of the team's ready. Yep. But you just have so much information to work with. That move ends up being very successful, and that's the type of play you're looking for. If you're going to commit a team for a move like that with Tiny, it can't just be a kill. You want it to be a kill into economic advantage. You got that, and now you can start to play the map with this Tiny, who's a big threat. It's going to force Falcons to clump up a little bit more than they would want to because they don't have those stacks to fall back on. Smoke with Malrine, his blink is available. They want the big prize in the Tiny.
Yeah, but they're not able to get the chain stun. Boxy interrupts as Snaking was making the run for it to try and Fire Blast up. Nisha gets caught in a bushwhack, and all he could do is ignite him for a bit of damage.
Man, that feels bad right now for Falcons. Just did not get that blink reveal. Big kill you wanted. You were kind of split on targets.
The consolation prize would be the tower, but they're going to have to heavy commit for it. They're going to use the epicenter to clear out Liquid in the mid lane. They catch Boxy. They kill him, Snaking, almost dying, diving that tower, but in the end, the kill and the tower is both claimed for Falcons.
Yeah, Malrine, he wanted something off that. He was not going to give up on the play. So they get their conversion in the mid lane.
Oh, it's a shield rune. Nisha. Oh, he jumps over the dead shot, but the shield rune is grabbed in time from Crit, which means he will not be the victim of Nisha's aggression.
I was very close. Do not want to give too many pickoffs to this Tiny right now.
Underneath the wards right now, the Phoenix doesn't last long. One stun is going to lead to the calling, which is going to lead to a dead shot follow-up. It's going to be hard for this Phoenix to get off supernovas.
And you're starting to see Falcons consolidate their side of the map off the back of the Sand King strength. This is kind of the scary part of the game for Liquid. Like this next 10 minutes, how much momentum can you build with your pickoff game? Can you actually get on Falcon's side of the map? Can you threaten their cores, or is this just going to turn into a stack war? And I don't think you're winning that stack farming war.
There's no way.
It's just impossible. You're already seeing these Falcons cores start to climb the chart. So they have another 5 minutes to do this.
You got to continue to be aggressive, but I feel like that actually, Falcons is so good at putting the enemy team in that position of like, hey, you have to get aggro. Hey, we're farming on all these cores. You got to make moves, and they're always good at intercepting smokes like this. But this one's going to be too rough. A toss back into a Wukong's command, and it's not one core, it's two. Mulring jumped in after Skeeter, and they both die.
He absolutely should have left him there. When the move hits from Liquid, you have to expect them to be bringing numbers because they're not going to be hitting you by your tier 2 isolated.
They don't half-ass it.
No, and that is a very nice find. That's a lot of time off the map for these two flash farmers. And a big gank that Mickey gets involved in. He went Mage Slayer on this Monkey King. This is a fighting build. It's a build you want to get active. You want to be part of the ganks. Get the assist gold.
So the other person who, the other core who has that flash farming is still alive is the Bristleback, and he got his Aghanim Scepter. So that is always the problem, Falcons. You can only stop so many of these cores from getting those items. One of them is going to reach, and the Aghanim Scepter now gives Falcons a lot more fighting power. When Liquid get aggressive, they got to be careful of this Ags.
I mean, ATF does what he does.
True.
It's very hard to shut this man down. You just have to have answers for him in the game, which in theory comes from the double break between the Hoodwink and the Primal, the Monkey King who can man up and fight him or put him in a position where, okay, you could sit here and put stacks on me, but you're in the middle of the Wukong. And is that good for you? Maybe not.
A percentage-based damage from the Phoenix, and I always love when the supports, like Muerta, Phoenix, right, they have some sort of way to deal with Bristleback's aggression, but chain stunned again. The Bristleback may not be able to handle the Phoenix, but boy, did this Sand King. Combined with Crit's Muerta behind, they're looking for more kills, but Crit's in trouble. Or excuse me, Skeeter's in trouble. Bushwhack goes out, catches him, he's dead. Back over to Nisha. He's so tanky though. Are you really gonna try for this one, especially over the river? It's just no chance in hell. But the Monkey King who jumps into them, jumps into the calling. Here comes a charge. Aim on through, Saberlight with a toss in the air, gets a grab onto him, and they are both dead. It's Amar on the run now, turning into a little piggy while Bloodlusted up. Away he goes.
He wants none of that fight. The Diesel Train shows up, and Saberlight making plays on multiple lanes. Liquid very fast on the map right now.
And he is spotted.
Are they actually going to chase him down?
Are there any TPs to be able to catch him out here? A TP onto the outpost. Here comes Foxy.
A tough catch.
He sees some kills. He tries to go for a Bushwhack. Thought that maybe Amar was TPing away on the high ground. They do not catch him. He makes his way all the way around the world to get out.
I think that was a, that was a little greedy. You got to respect the move speed on this hero. Your catch is not available. It cost Boxy some resources, but a very nice strike from Liquid nonetheless. When they can connect their cores like that and just land the stuns on multiple heroes, Falcons are not fighting them in their early game.
Yeah.
This Sand King just doesn't have the damage output to match the Tiny's HP pool right now. Every time they try and go on Nisha or this Primal Beast, it feels impossible. You don't have the nuke damage, especially with a Phoenix backing them up. Look at how aggressive Nisha's pushing in this mid lane. And Falcons, you're staring at it. This is an unmovable rock right now. And he has a haste rune in the bottle, so he is truly invincible on the map right now. And a massive threat. Crit, this is not the guy you want to run into. You can poke him.
Nisha just saying, I dare you. I dare you to try, man.
Yeah.
I've got a haste rune. There's no way you're stunning me long enough and putting the damage out fast enough that I don't just pop this haste rune and get away.
And we also saw the power of the Mage Slayer on the Monkey King in that river fight. This is a really strong Mage Slayer game. This is a item that debilitates Sand King a lot. It's good versus the Bristleback. That is spell damage reduction that goes to work. It's honestly nice versus the Gyro too, because he relies
all three cores, right?
Yeah, he relies on a decent amount of magic damage in these early skirmishes. This Monkey King is a lot tankier than you think, because when that debuff goes out, Falcons lose a lot of damage here. So the initiation counts for a lot. If you can start on the Monkey King and just chain stun burst him down, you're super happy with that exchange. But if Mickey gets to join the fight behind Liquid's front line, and Skeeter, he does not know this move is coming at all.
His team is behind him, but he may just get bursted too fast. Here comes the Muerto with the calling, but it's not good enough. The silence cannot stop this, and this is the hasted up Tiny. He needs some help, though. Sunray is trying to heal him up, and he will be able to run away. Meanwhile, a charge on through. Freight train, 2-2, coming through. Saberlight gets the grab of the Sand King underneath. Meanwhile, the toss together. Avalanche with the supernova top. Wham, bam, you're done. Falcons are out of this team fight.
And quite literally, ATF, he wants nothing to do with the remains of that one. He's just TPing back the farm. Says at least the Ancients are a bit nicer to me because Liquid did not come to play in this game too. They came for blood. And once more, you are just baited onto this Tiny. He looks so juicy. He looks so sweet.
I mean, he's a tiny man.
Yep.
How does he make himself look juicy? He's got 2,800 HP,
I mean,
but
who else
Falcons,
can you go on?
they just keep going for it.
And he has so much extra HP behind him. The haste rune in his bottle definitely guarantees he gets out. But the Sunray on this hero is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
You're going to have a Solar Crest on the Phoenix as well, as this Pavis was already done for Insania, so you have extra HP there.
And that is a maxed out Sunray now.
Yep, level 4.
After all the experience they got from that team. Oh, no way! No, 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 no! No Tormentor is free! Boxing all the way from downtown. Gets the shot on Amar. A free kill.
That death summary, 2,300 damage Tormentor, 230 done from a single spell from the Squirrel.
And that also gives them the enemy Wisdom Rune.
That's a big death in this game.
Yeah.
ATF was the one core still finding some farm, not dying in those fights, getting his scale up. If he gets the BKB, you can maybe take a game-turning fight off the back of that. This just slows it all down.
Yeah, he needs the BKB. Deal with the Mage Slayer, deal with the break mechanic that's coming in from the Hoodwink, deal with this overwhelming amount of magic damage that Liquid's bringing to the table, and that BKB has been thoroughly delayed off of that death.
Man, Liquid are just finding everything right now. This is a very fast game they played, and they are just continuing to ramp up.
to play with speed and double vision here. Liquid just keep on knocking Falcons around.
We're seeing the strength as Tiny pick into the Sand King.
Yeah.
It's just too much HP for Maulrain to get through, and on the flip side, this Sand King is easy pickings for Liquid with the amount of burst damage they just have to pump into him, and it's all low cooldown. You're not committing big ults to take this hero down.
Yeah, I mean, the Sand King Muerta duo looks so strong on, like, you know, picking off some of these supports and stuff, but you're right, just the raw HP of the Tiny and even the Primal Beast means that that duo isn't effective at killing the cores.
You have the 2 highest strength gain cores in the game.
Yeah.
Plus a Mage Slayer Monkey King, who you can't really start on because you just don't see him on the map. What is Maulrain supposed to find right now in this mid game? Who are you? Let's say you have the perfect smoke and you land exactly who you want it to land on. What does that even look like? Who are you jumping, and how does it work out for you right now? You need this Bristle to join the fight and do the heavy lifting in terms of the DPS. And I don't know if ATF is confident enough to do that without BKB. Nonetheless, Falcons feel they need to get something done right now. So no BKB on this Bristleback, but they're going to make the aggressive play anyway. I mean, BKB available for the Gyrocopter is what they're banking on.
High ground ward, they spot Saberlight.
He has
Can
BKB.
they go for him? He's got BKB, they can't let him get him off. The chain's done, it's successful. They got the kill, but the Wukong's command is out. The Sunray's burning out Maulrain. Manuel, toss, Avalanche once again, Supernova.
They have
right
to
in the
kill
middle,
it.
they have to kill the egg. The Bushwhack goes out, the egg does die. But another shot from Boxy sends Amar to his grave. And Falcon supports will try in vain to get away. It's only Snake King who gets out a 2 for 4 to the favor of Liquid.
Insania will take that Supernova every day of the week. Right in everybody. Skeeter dies to take it down. And that is probably best case scenario for Falcons. You get the jump on one of the tanky cores from Liquid. You bring him down. No BKB pop off a beautiful chain stun. But then you are just locked in a world of pain here. And that shot is a shot of beauty. No escape for ATF.
Didn't notice Miguel. He missed the Boundless Strike.
You
He
can't
actually
land
could have
everything.
wiped him.
You can't land everything. I don't think he's too upset about it. You're looking at the position they're in now. They have blown this game wide open.
Oh yeah, 11,000 net worth lead, and not even stopping for Roche. They just continue map control.
This is when Liquid can be the best team in the world, right? We saw this at TI. This is the position they put a lot of teams in. They just play fast. They outmaneuver you on the map. They continually take fights during their timings. and you feel pressure to make these smoke moves into them
Yep.
when you don't have yours yet, right? You don't have that burst of BKB, and it costs you so much in a fight like that.
And their willingness to play around each other doesn't give you many options for those smoke plays succeeding, right? They played it perfectly. They got the chains done.
That's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah, it is kind of as good as it's going to get, and you're just like, you get that one kill, but Liquid are not too far away. And look at Nisha.
Straight back into it. Another power rune to back up his bottle here, and he is
Scanning.
absolutely not afraid of anything in this game. He has 0 deaths right now, and he might end this game with 0 deaths.
A smoke up, TP to the other side of the map. Liquid. They know some heroes from Falcons are going to come back to deal with these waves, but they're going to try and catch the heroes on the other side of the map, especially as Roshan moves to this side. I assume this is a two-pronged play here.
They might be thinking that Falcons are trying to sneak this as well.
Primal Beast going to run into crit.
So they'll take the
Saberlight.
freebie.
They'll get in behind him. Surely somebody will catch him. And there he goes. So Liquid do manage to find that pickoff. I think Falcons are okay with the space that has been created off of that.
Should be Roche, though. You have DD
Yes.
rune on the Tiny if you really want to accelerate it a bit more.
And that's going to make things very difficult for Falcons. You know that high ground push is probably going to be coming in soon. Can you get the items needed to hold this game? BKB is a requirement. Need that on Malrine. Skeeter already has his. And Amar should be able to get it before the high ground push comes in as well. So they will have a triple BKB timing.
Which normally is something this team likes to play around and is quite strong for them. The downside is you sacrifice this Bloodstone buildup on the Sand King for it.
Well, no
That's gonna
tower is free, Snake King. Though Amar is hanging around, I'm not sure if he wants to be hanging around, though.
No.
It's never just one on Liquid.
Yeah, you have to expect the team to be coming in with backup. You cannot afford too many more pickoffs in this game or you're just going to start losing base. Crit, he is going to escape here.
Any words on that one, Malrine?
This is Nisha versus 3 cores, and he is winning the fight.
Yeah, he absolutely is winning this one. Skeeter regrets taking this fight, I think. What was the game plan, Falcons? Oh, Amar's going to get grabbed on his BKB. The Wukong's command is out. The physical damage is there. He's dead.
And there's the tip. No all chat coming out this game as Falcons are just getting run down. They needed time to get this tri-core online, and Liquid are not giving it to him. This is going to be an easy high ground push. 2 cores dead, no buybacks, 30 seconds. Still an Aegis on Nisha.
Oh, a big epicenter possibly here.
He got 3.
Got a big epicenter. Will it be enough? Looks like Mickey is going to go down, and the Aegis might get burned out here from Nisha, but he's not too afraid. He actually jumps in to finish off Crit, gets that kill. Malrine will try and burrow strike him, but it's certainly not going to be enough damage. Liquid are still going to be able to get the full lane of barracks here.
You just can't kill Tiny. That's what most of this game has come down to. The man is untouchable, and he knows it. I wonder if this game is no longer too boring for Mr. Malrine.
Yeah, I think Nisha brought a little excitement to this game, too.
And another power rune. Another haste as well. Ags on the menu for Malrine. So again, he had to skip the Bloodstone to go into this BKB, and I think Falcons are really feeling the pressure to just get as much damage out as they can in the next 5 minutes here. You have to be able to bring these cores down, and there's a lot of HP to get through with Sunray to back up the massive strength gains here. You know, the upside of triple BKB is sometimes it can just win you a fight and you blow that game open. The downside is if you go triple BKB and you start to lose those fights, this item's not a farming item. It's not an item that really scales as you go into that late game. These timers start to tick down. You don't feel great about a defensive position right now. Falcons looking for something. They want a pick off, something to slow this game down.
Dude, they're not even willing to hit these creeps underneath the tier 2. That's how safe Liquid is playing it right now. They're right to do so. Falcons are searching for a pick-off, but instead it's going to be Nisha charging forward with the haste through an avalanche on 2. Saberlight will follow it up. Already they start
He pops BKB, but it's useless against the grab of the Primal Beast. Amar with the TP out does manage to make it. Crit's gonna go for a force staff away, but he doesn't have a TP. There's no way out of this one for him. Quick dispel, turn around, try and kill the Hoodwink, but again, lacking in damage. It's a big problem for Falcons. They will get 3 off of this one.
And the push going straight down mid. You still have a minute 30 on this Aegis.
Oh yeah.
High ground potentially still on the menu during this interval, especially with BKBs on cooldown. Liquid just playing too fast. Scan landed on ATF on that triangle, and that's the only vision they needed to start that fight. Just send the haste to Tiny in. Still no answer in sight. He's already level 20. You want to epicenter him? He's got a second life.
He just shrugs it off.
Doesn't need it.
He's got 60 seconds left on the Aegis. Falcons are hoping to be able to take it away from him and stop this high ground push, but he gets to blink out. So Liquid still have a little window here to force a fight with this Aegis and try and take a second lane of barracks. I mean, that'll just be the end of the game, likely, if they win another one.
They're just amassing so many auras as well behind the front line here. You have the drum on the Hoodwink, but more importantly, Insania. He has Solar Crest Pipe and Vlad's done on this Phoenix. It is so much extra effective HP.
Yeah, they actually got to find Insania.
Yes, I think he's the biggest target, honestly. You cannot let Sunray or Egg really go off in these fights. You can't let him get all his utility
They got
off.
a scan on him. Box is going to break their smoke. He's going to get vision. Looks for it on the Tormentor. Doesn't find him there, but it's a charge on through from Nisha Saberlight once again. It just breaks Falcons nice and easy. Amar, he's just going for it. He just dives into the middle of them. He can't even kill Boxy though right away. He's chasing after him with the rest of his BKB, and he might be able to claim the kill, but it'll cost him his life. Skater caught. No, an avalanche toss. Once again, chain stunned up. A Wukong's man that's gonna go out. He's dead. This is all Liquid in game 2, and Falcons know it.
And what a game 3 we should have between the raw HP between the 6 cores in this game is absurd. And if there is one team in the history of Dota that has probably played the triple strength core better than anybody else, it's gotta be Falcons, right?
Flame break already on Malrine, a bit of damage, nothing major. Malrine, by the way, said this game is over. He has already stated it, though he didn't say for who. So we'll see where that comes out. Also, a little interesting wrinkle. We had the loading screens go up, and Malrine was the one featured on the side of Falcons, and he has Saberlight's TSM sticker attached to his Timber Saw. I don't know if he planned for this. I'm not sure if he applied that sticker just for this moment right here, right now, but it is pretty interesting. Saberlight gave him a tip at the very start of the game for having that sticker.
I think it was probably planned, Austin. I don't think anything in the all chat / stickers / spray world eludes this team right now.
It does seem something that Malrine is particularly fixated on. We'll see if it takes away from his game at all, as the bounty runes are about to spawn, and we're going to have a 2-2 split. Meanwhile, Saberlight is going to do with boots first. Going to try and cut the wave, and does get 2 of them. Skeeter manages to deny one of the creeps. So Falcons already knowing what Skeeter's going to be up to. Looks like Falcons are actually going to do the same thing here.
They're going to block it under tower and try and get the lane super far back for Amar.
I thought for a second they were going to kill the wave with like Quill Spram, but
they just don't want Mickey sitting under this tower with Morphling, CSing against the Bristle. That's kind of worst case scenario. So this is going to boomerang back out very fast.
Right.
Snaking's going to instantly TP back top. Both teams trying to win the Equilibrium War on the side lanes for their offlaners. Interesting prioritization here. And I am curious what this support duo is going to look like for Falcons as we go later in this game, because this Shadow Shaman, it's a hero that's worked for them, but it's been crit playing it. And it's one of his old school heroes he's very comfortable with. Snaking, this guy is one of the few players who's played the most varied heroes in the history of the game. So he can mechanically play this hero, absolutely. But it's an awkward 5 sometimes. It's very greedy. It's a little slow. You do have the save mechanism in the Hex that could come in huge this game, and I think that's what they're looking towards in terms of, you know, first the Bat Rider versus the Earth Spirit going in. You have that instant disable or the instant save. It's going to have to come up big, though, as Snaking will have to find some farm in this game, and it's another fairly greedy lineup for Falcons in that sense. The Timber bounces it out a little bit. It's a stronger playmaking mid for Malrine this time around with a lot more damage. I think they viewed that game too as, I could not kill Nisha. He wants to be able to kill him this game, and Timbersaw is one of the best killers in Dota. You're not going to get much more damage than this guy.
Got the Phoenix before he gets to level 2. Insania is going to be your first blood, as Crit is the one to pick up that bounty, and Mickey cannot do enough damage to turn things around. So an early pickup for Falcons. You started the game talking about the beef. We've got the beef killers in the Timbersaw pickup for Malrine. We also have Liquid on their side of things. They have some really good supports for doing percentage-based damage. I mean, at least when it comes to the Phoenix. And Batrider is really good at just keeping damage going, making sure that you have enough to be able to take down tanky heroes.
Or just displace a hero so far that nothing can come through to save them.
Sure.
I agree, this Phoenix could come up huge again in this game 3 with the Sunray, the Supernova verse, a lot of melee cores on the side of Falcons. It's a tough hero to teamfight into.
Are we just back to the meta from a year ago?
I hope not. We might be. As Almar in trouble, he'll wave goodbye as the high five will not be met by anything but his demise. I was about to say this lane is quite a strong lane with the Blight Orb Acorn going through. You get the Quill Stack bonus damage into a Phoenix with almost no armor. Insania was struggling early, but he will strike back, and a very even laning phase across the board.
Lotus is about to spawn. Both teams working for you. You could see Saberlight trying to use his trample just to push back the Earthshaker, making sure that they get the Lotus, because obviously any of these strength heroes, lower mana pools means that Lotuses are going to be particularly valuable, not just in the little skirmish, but also for the mana.
Get some good right clicks into Saberlight, but he's chilling on this lane. And these Liquid cores look like they're in strong position regen-wise. For me, I'm really looking towards Malrine to kind of break the stalemate in this game 3. I think this is a player that Falcons have gone to when they need someone to step up in the clutch and have an over-performance. And I think that game 2 was a beatdown for him, right?
Yeah.
And particularly the mid lane just got off to a rough start. He just couldn't find his mark. This is a game where he needs to strike back.
Lane break, trying to separate the Primal Beast from the Earthshaker, does so successfully.
I also would look towards the stacking in this game, because
Sure.
there was a lot of potential for that game 2 to turn into a stack war, and it didn't because of the pace Liquid were able to set. If this game gets slowed down a little bit, if it stalls out, if it's a split push battle, fully expect Falcons to take advantage of it with the mass stacking they wanted to do in that game 2, but didn't get away
Amar,
with.
he's going to die again here,
Is
potentially. The burnout is there. The Fire Spirits does finish him off, so they trade out Insania for Amar. Have to imagine Liquid's rather happy with that one, losing a Courier too, though. I imagine that Crit wasn't there because he was stacking. So they,
Yes.
yeah, he's already got some stacks going into the triangle.
So that's a favorable trade overall for Falcons.
Sure.
Maybe ATF's not too happy about paying the price, but it'll create some space on the map, and that mid lane is the big difference maker this time around. Malrine is the one free farming and taking some of that net worth advantage towards Nisha, already building up a solid lead here.
Yeah.
Earthspirit's going to struggle to find his mark. He's not going to have 6 here first either, so there's no quick turnaround kill that you can throw into this Timbersaw. Is going to be quite tanky. As Raindrop, Wand, Brace are already done, looking for that 6-minute power rune. Skirmish up top.
Aggro play for Liquid. They get behind him with Boxy's Batrider, and we still have the Phoenix, who's going to be coming in soon as well. They're going after Skeeter here underneath the tower. A dive on through, hits both. Fire Spirit still on out, but big stick charges. That keeps Skeeter alive, and it's Saberlight who's in trouble. Snake King might burn out as well. Crit's going to go for the kill and finally does deliver on it. They do not get a kill on the side of Liquid. Falcons respond perfectly.
Got to keep that foul play in mind. It is a tough spell to get through in these early fights. Liquid pay a big price for a tower dive, not reading the wand charges on Skeeter as he just baits him in. And once you're trapped into that tower, you're getting hexed, you're getting shackled, you're getting chain stunned, you're getting bushwhacked. There's a lot of chain disable in this Falcons lineup.
Insania in some trouble, doesn't have his dive up, and the Chakram will be able to finish him off, but Saberlight's going to come in, try and help out with his power rune. Malrine, he's not going to be able to get away.
He'll claim the arcane, but it'll
they're going after
life.
Snake King too. I mean, it's a Shadow Shaman's a slow hero. He's not getting away from Nisha's Earth Spirit, that's for sure. So they'll get 2 kills for that.
This is the type of skirmishing the Shaman does not enjoy. He's just caught out in the open. He's a very slow hero. His spells are not that impactful. Liquid can take advantage of that if they can combine heroes fast on the map like they did in that game too.
Yeah, I almost feel like any time they go for
Power Rune on Shadow Shaman, it probably is crit gonna, or excuse me, Snake King gonna die for it.
This is a classic 5 Shaman game, you know? You don't have boots for 15 minutes, but hey, I'm going to make big plays later. And I can always drop the wards in Roche if it really comes to it. So Snake King, he has his tasks ahead of him. On the flip side, Insania, he's not had much better of an early game in that 5-on-5 exchange, right? He has 3 deaths on his Phoenix. He's level 3.5. Very low level on a support that really put the Sunray points to use last game, right? So Insania, he's going to have his own catching up to do in terms of the XP department. And he's got a lot of damage.
Malrine jumps to the tree, planted by Crit. Insania trying to get out of here. Falcons are going to chase.
Another Acorn 3.
Yeah, he might be able to kill him. Only 2 armor on the Phoenix. He gets underneath the tier 2 tower, and that Acorn trick shot just keeps bouncing around.
See if they can run down anything else here. Box
maybe
for his
Snake
play.
King if he can catch Nisha here in a disable. Got him in the Hex, and he's surely dead now. Now it's Falcons who will find 2 kills in the jungle.
And a much different game out of the Falcons mid lane already. The damage output Malrine's able to support these plays with is a world of difference, and he's straight into the stacks on the triangle. So this Timbersaw is going to be gigantic, and he can absolutely take this game over.
Nisha with a bit of all chat. It's rare that somebody manages to taunt Nisha into doing so.
Is that the player you want to wake up, though?
We don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that's who I pick. Illusion Rune baiting everybody.
Fire Spirit's on 2 with Saberlight getting the grab. Oh, what an interception, though, with a bushwhack. It frees Malrine, still has the magnetized on him. Gotta be careful of that one. It's taken up. There goes that cluster clutch, still gonna die. Meanwhile, Skeeter hits a good Echo Slam. Malrine remagnetized. Does Nisha want to go for the dive on this one? He's going for crit right now. Malrine's coming back in, and Malrine's not dead. Saberlight can't finish him off. Falcons, they do successfully draw in Liquid and trade 1 for 2.
So far, the baiting and the taunting from Malrine.
It's worked. Apparently, the kid doesn't mind the extra pressure going up against what people herald as the best player in the world in an elimination game. He's been talking a lot, putting extra pressure on himself, and he's stepping up to that pressure. You said this is a game where he is going to make or break Falcons in the early game, and he has already made them successful.
His spells are so important. The Whirling Death on these strength heroes, the ability to stall out these fights and get multiple rounds of spells off. It's everything for Falcons right now, and it's going to create the space for the other 2 cores to recover this early game and get the farm they need across the board. It's also going to bring these supports into the game. That's a lot of experience going the way of Falcons on this Shaman and the Hoodwink. Ult already up for crit. You're comparing this to the Bat Ride and the Phoenix for Liquid, who are still stuck at level 4. They're just missing these big ults that they need to take these fights. And I don't know where they're going to find them. It has to come from kills through their cores, through the Primal, through the Earth Spirit. And every time you lose one of those fights, it sets you that much farther back. So they're going to clear some stacks in the jungle. They're going to scan out a move from Falcons. They will dodge that with the Morphling. So Mickey still having a very free game on this Morphling. He could potentially join some of these early fights and try and sway that advantage back towards Liquid. We've seen him do it on basically every hero in the game.
He does have some... I mean, the Timbersaw is great for this game. It's great on both sides.
Exactly.
Right?
He has good heroes to steal and join the fights. The Shaker, the Timber. I mean, even throw out a couple Bushwhack, maybe it can win you an early exchange.
Yeah, maybe.
You just have to find experience somewhere right now if you're Liquid.
Yeah.
Falcons are posturing aggressively on Radiant jungle right now. They're eyeing up this mid lane with the supports hiding behind a tree.
Nisha is struggling, man. He is getting run down once again by Malrine. He got the kill easy with the amp damage. And Insania can't even stick around for fear of being caught in a single disable. Malrine would kill him as well.
Malrine is heating up in this game 3. Absolutely feeling themselves as Falcons exert the pressure they want to with this Timbersaw pick. Just run it into Liquid's lineup. They don't have the levels to deal with it yet. They have to rotate multiple cores if they want to gank him. And so far, he's been getting the Power Rune win, which counts for a lot here. The extra damage, the extra resources. That Blade Mail for Nisha is still a ways away. And this is the type of gameplay they were looking for in that game, too. Stacks for the Bristle, the space is being created, and ATF is gonna... He's just going to accelerate out of control. This goes on for the next 5 or 10 minutes here. Those aggressive moves we saw Liquid making, combining the cores, getting on Falcon's side of the map, that's non-existent right now. Amar almost going down. The man knows his limits.
He does, and he's going to have a very fast Aghanim Scepter at this rate. Took the tower uncontested, has been taking the stacks. This time around, Liquid just do not have the same kind of momentum they had in Game 2 to make any sort of invasions to stop all this.
Did give some lane priority to the supports, so they have Egg online, and that lasso's very close. This should open up the fight options a bit more. They're going to look for another power rune. Won't win it, but it'll get a consolation prize in the Shaman.
Boy, Malrine has been able to get every single power rune, I think.
Yes, he is. He has gotten some good RNG so far.
Making some good use of it, too. That Nisha kill earlier. Now we'll see what he gets up to with the haste rune.
This is a deadly rune on the map. During a period where Liquid probably want to get some aggressive moves of their own going, man, this Timber TP's into a tier 1 tower dive, pops the haste rune. He's going to take multiple people with him.
Boxy's smoke is going to break. He's just going to hover around in the area, gets a ward down, keeps an eye on Skeeter. Maybe they can set up if a core rotates in. That would have to be Nisha.
I feel like this is almost normally where Mickey would go through the gate.
Yeah.
And kill the enemy carry. Morphline's just not the hero to do that.
He's going to start on him. Crit is also coming through the gate, as is Malrine. So Boxy's going to find that this is not a solo pickoff. Though the chain misses as Boxy kills the tree that Malrine was hoping to get to. But of course, he has that haste rune from earlier. So Boxy, unlikely to be able to dodge all of this. He'll try and delay his death, but Malrine will collect.
Honestly, that's not the worst death. You had to get this haste rune out of him somehow. You don't want to lose cores to it.
Oh, look, they're trying to get
Nisha,
but Sneaking can't get there.
You have the wards up on the Shaman already. So if you give up some bad pickoffs here, this Shaman's going to start taking your tier 1s. Falcons making the move up top. They want to continue to defend their tier 1s. They don't want to give any space on their side of the map to Liquid. Don't want to let those deep wards go through. And all the while this is happening, that Bristle is farming Ancients. That's what Falcons are banking on. That ATF is going to make up the difference when all these moves miss. They're still winning. I guess it comes down to if you believe Mickey can hard carry this game if it goes late. And so far, the Morphling track record at this tournament, I kind of believe that that's a true possibility, right? With the amount of good spells he can steal, how hard he can hit, there isn't really a true counterpart in the right-click department for this Morphling on the side of Falcons.
Yeah.
They have 3 spell-dealing cores, so who's going to match Morphling in the late game? Who's going to take down
greedy
Fast Roach?
here? Pulls the wave into the camp, but is going to be caught for it. They'll drop the wards on him. Boxy sees all these heroes, and he says, there's no chance in hell I could save you, brother. Saberlight dies for his greed.
6-1 and 2 on this Timbersaw right now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Not out of control yet, but he is close.
Yeah. And an early Aghanim Scepter is going to be really interesting. They don't have any dispels.
Yeah, it's going to be quite strong.
Yeah, there'll be nothing they could really do about it.
Nope, just got to kite him out. Maybe let the Morphling turn into Timber. Turn these spells back against him with some of the stat loss, but it's going to be strong on the front line for sure. And this is how Falcons like to play. Just create heroes you can't kill.
Yeah.
And they're just going to run them at you. They're going to run at Roche. They're going to continue to take the stacks.
Almost feels like somebody is going to need to buy a Yules. One of these supports, perhaps. But Insania is going for a 4-staff right now, and he is getting some time to farm. Roll in. Nisha. After the support will not find a core, Amar has left Snaking behind.
That's the Shaman 5-life. There's not much you can do about it. You get found, you're dead. Respawn and go next. Ag's done for Skeeter. As Foxy continues to hunt him up here. He had that ward from earlier.
Bumped it back in. Echo Slam trying to stop Saberlight from rushing in. Saberlight will be caught by the bushwhack as Crit counter-rotates. And Insania and Nisha, who are hoping to be able to meet Saberlight in that move, will not be able to sandwich Falcons. Falcons are the ones who break Liquid instead. Get 2 kills, a shield rune. Nisha, he doesn't have a way out of this one if his roll gets stopped, and it does. They're going to be able to chain stun him thanks to Snake King joining in. Shadow Shaman finally gets to live a little bit of a high life.
Liquid cannot keep going for these dives. They are losing so much in these attempts. They're very difficult into all the chain stun potential. Primal without BKB is never going to get his spells off. The Earth Spirit can't use the maneuverability to his advantage. And Morphling is not a part of any of these plays. You look at Liquid's MO and what has worked for them, especially this last TI, it's numbers advantage. It's fast moves. It's combining on the map. If Morphling's AFK farming, you're at a disadvantage in all of that regard.
Oh, he managed to save the Phoenix. He's got the egg, and he will be able to pop it now. Falcons trying to get away from it. No disables from Liquid will keep them in the AoE. So again, snaking dies. He's died 5 times. Liquid only have 8 kills. That just, I mean, that's a good number. That just frankly means that there are heroes they haven't killed on the Falcon side, and that is Crit and Malrine, or Skeeter rather.
Dire's middle tower.
That's your primal BKB reveal.
Boxy spotted, doesn't have a Firefly to get out of the pit easily, and will be, again, chain stunned down. And Falcons say, okay, we're just going to do Roshan since we're all here.
Yeah, don't have the big right clicker, but the bristle will give you enough minus armor to commit on this. Feel good about it. And you're not losing too much on the map. This mid tower's getting hit a little, but Snaking's there to eat the wave. No objective pressure coming out of Liquid right now.
Nope. So as it stands, Falcons are about to hit a triple Aghanims lineup with an Aegis.
They're cooking right now.
They are.
This is a lot of damage coming out, a lot of HP to get through if you're Liquid. It has to come from Mickey. At some point in this game, this Morphling needs to find his mark and swing the momentum back in their favor.
At the same time, don't think you can ask him to join in fights for the next 5 minutes. And this is
Tower is under attack.
the triple Aghanim Scepter plus a Blink Dagger soon coming in on Skeeter plus the Aegis. I feel like Falcons have such an overwhelming advantage in this window. Liquid are going to have to be the ones to dodge fights.
They're just stacking so much too. Every time I look at this triangle, it's 3, 4, 5 ancient stacks. Someone's clearing it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of XP onto these cores. They're going to instantly smoke up Skeeter. Try and put this Shaker Blink
Running
to
to
use.
Saberlight. He does have BKB. Does he want to use it in this situation? He's going to pop it. Snaking. You can see he was playing pretty far back. He wasn't sure if he wanted to push forward and try and go for that Primal Beast. They weren't sure if Liquid was behind him or not. They do have Supernova up, so it's not the easiest play to just run into Liquid and take the fight no matter what.
But look at what's happening. Amar, he's just forcing in the top wave. He's controlling that side of the map with this Aegis Bristle that he knows it takes too long to bring him down twice. He's the hero they leave alone. Bottom lane goes in off that attempted gank on Saberlight.
Yeah, Skeeter.
And all of a sudden, 3 lanes going into Liquid side of the map. You get a tier 1 mid, and you can get on the Radiant side, get some vision down, and look for more. This map is getting constricted a bit.
It is, and that means
Tower is under attack.
Amar can start taking over the enemy triangle area. Could also mean that Insania will die off of a Fissure.
Top tower is
He
under
will get a Force Staff, and he'll just try and delay this death as long as possible.
I mean, Falcons are just going to let Skeeter finish him off. They're not going to commit too much more to this.
It's going to take a while, though.
Look at mid.
As long as he keeps the attack speed on Skeeter, Insania,
Yeah, this is a bit annoying.
he is definitely not making it easy. He's got a Force Staff coming up. Tries to get away. Snaking will finally stop him.
Space created.
Aiden had a good time with that one, that's for sure. Because look what's happening on the map. You got Boxy who's going to cut the mid wave, and you've got Mickey farming the enemy Ancients. So Liquid actually got a decent amount out of it in that period of time, but it is still Falcons with the advantage, and still the Aegis, and still a Tormentor to take.
Exactly. They're looking towards objectives with this. You can dodge them on the map all you want, but you're not going to get equal objective trades right now, even if the farm is neutralized. So that's a shard into the Shaman. Not as strong as it used to be. One Snaking will happily gobble up.
No.
And I am surprised with how much Insania found in this game. With his rough start, he did eventually get to that Yules you were thinking about. So when it comes down to the Timbersaw Ags, you at least have 1 Dispel in your tank.
Yep.
If he gets the BKB before you're able to use it, that's a different matter, but
Boxy, oh, quick fingers! Picked that up and got away. They did spot Mickey here.
they're going to run him down.
He's going to turn into the Timbersaw. Timber chain himself away. Boxy will have to cancel his TP. Blinks out.
Nice disengage.
Very nice, more space as long as they don't get caught. Oh, Mickey. I don't know if you want to be farming those creeps or not. TP on the outpost from Insania. Falcons start backing away. Mickey will be able to back up and continue to farm. So Liquid showing that they are able to rival Falcons when it comes to the idea of dodging fights and playing for a later timing.
They have to. They can't take the 5-on-5 right now. Need some sort of synchronous item timing or some clutch pickoff find from Boxy, who has had this blink on the Batrider for a while. Falcons are just not giving too many openings here. You're only seeing super tanky heroes on the lane or the Bristleback with 2 lives. Not a lot for the Batrider to try and find. And again, this game for Liquid's going to come down to Mickey joining that one fight, trying to swing it. This is the fight it looks like he's decided to be a part of.
Smoke's gonna break. Boxy running up there. Got the grab. Oh, immediately returned though. Disables out. They're still gonna chase after the
kicked
shadow
the
shot. They got it
shaman.
kicked away. Oh, Nisha didn't mean for that one. Magnetized out on the Skater. Skater's in trouble. He's already dead. And the Supernova is gonna force Amar away as well as Maureen. He has the Timber Chain on out. Meanwhile, Nisha gets cut down by the Whirling Death Snake King. Somehow he's still alive through all this one. A little bit of close to cluck action. He's gonna get out. Glimmer Cake. Fire Spirit's trying to hit him. It doesn't land. Saberlight on the run. Nowhere he can go to. Snake King's got him in his grasp.
Shackle him down and chant the song. This shaman did so much work in that fight. The true NA King still alive on land makes his presence felt. Mickey got nothing done in that fight. He goes in, gets shackled, no morph active.
And
dies
all of that because
100-0.
Nisha accidentally kicked the shaman.
Exactly. It's a big misstep here. Absolutely not what he wanted to do there. Snake King he'll gladly take it, man. Shaman needs every little bit of help he can get.
That's true.
You want to give me a free 4-step? I'll take it every time.
And that will finally put Falcons in a bit bigger lead. They took a lot of objectives, but didn't really get that big of a net worth lead.
And just
that
such a
team fight
fast
will certainly help.
Bushwhack from Crit as well.
Yeah.
So many small support plays coming out from Falcons in this fight. Skeeter got shut down completely. Liquid commit the big ults on him. That fight doesn't look too bad until that Hex comes out on the Morph lane. And
Yeah.
Snaking, smiling all the way to the bank on that one.
5 deaths manages to delay the 6th for now.
This is not a game you want to give that Shaman a lot of net worth here. It's going to make Mickey's game that much harder.
Yeah. A game that he needs to be able to carry. His team needs to help him out a little bit. And Falcons, that's worth its weight in gold right there. Get a BKB charge out of Nisha. Put that on cooldown for 85 seconds. That just means Liquid can't make a move for a minute and a half.
Tower is under attack.
He needs those charges. He needs the extra duration in these fights. More importantly, he needs to start finding some action to scale into these heavier items.
Falcons about to take the last remaining tier 2 tower. And we haven't even hit the timing on the second Roche yet. They've done a great job of just killing as much of the map as possible from Liquid. Liquid have done a good job of making sure that this net worth lead doesn't get too far out of control. They have farmed up a lot, but ultimately have not been able to protect any of their objectives. As Amar gets the last hit on the final tier 2 tower.
You are giving Falcons a lot here. They're hitting their stride. Triple BKB is going to be available once the BKB arrives for Skeeter, which is 1 camp away. You still have that Ags on the Timber. It's a lot of HP to get through, and you don't have a lot of BKB control. This Pulverize from Saberlight is going to have to connect on a big core target with Supernova nearby. That's the type of fight you're looking for. And then you find the supports, right? Find the Shaman, find the Hoodwink.
Here comes the attempted pickoffs. As everybody on Liquid is pushed really aggressively on Falcon's side of the map. They went for Saberlight, the top part of the map. He managed to see that coming.
Yeah, the wards are good right now. Boxy has made sure they have deep vision to play around and continue the split push that's been really annoying for Falcons. Their catch is not amazing. The Shaker can contribute some, but he's also got to keep up the farm here.
I do wonder if this late Roshan spawn is going to play against Falcons a little bit. I think they would love to just take another Rosh and just,
Oh, absolutely.
take advantage of this triple BKB timing you're talking about. They're just going to be so strong.
And they have this huge streak on the Timbersaw. So if Liquid managed to bring Maureen down, that's Gonna swing a lot of gold their way as well. He's a big target. Very wanted at the moment. Gotta find the initiations though if you're Liquid, and Falcons are just continuing to present that unbreakable frontline with these tanky heroes. Smoke from Liquid. This is a big one.
Radiant's
This team fight goes wrong. It's
Roche. It's a lot of map control. You're looking to split push again for another period, and you're not going to be happy. So, Conda done for the Morphling. Mickey, what can you find? What can you do with it?
Smoke running into smoke here in a second. Saberlight. It's going to break on him. Throws a rock. Immediately tramples into the trees. Spots Maureen. Not sure if that's what he wants. Going to have to activate his BKB. He did BKB. He dies. Big blunder from Saberlight, and Liquid have to give up on the team fight now. As they jump after him, Skeeter hits the Echo Slam for another kill. They're rolling away. They're diving out. They're trying to get off the map anywhere they can, but Nisha cannot get away. It's a third death on Liquid.
You have to commit. There's no way you can go on a core target and commit Pulverize without BKB in there. I mean, what are you saving it for? Once the Pulverize is gone, the triple BKB core lineup from Falcons has free reign anyway.
Maureen, he knows Saberlight made a massive mistake there, and he will punish him both inside the game and inside the chat.
It feels like Liquid are a little on edge, though.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to find the fights they're looking for.
is under attack.
There's been a couple small misplays in these fights as well that have cost them big time. Yeah, you don't lose your Morphling, Mickey.
Insania, he's going to walk in a crate here. Awkward situation. He's got a Force F, he's got a Yules. Can he make the dive out? Bushwhack doesn't land, goes off the map.
No TP.
Skeeter.
Do they know that, though?
Maybe they don't know that.
He's TP'd off the map so much, it's on cooldown.
Are scanning.
So Insania just makes a
they're
break.
TPing down. They want to make the counterplay.
They think, oh, of course, the Phoenix left. They're not going to be heroes here. But the reality is that, oh, they're going through the gate right now, but they're going to get the grab on him right before the rock comes through. Hits on two. A charge, a grab on the Skater. Both will die.
What a find, honestly. Dude, Insania is doing so much work on these side lanes.
And immediately Liquid start picking up their pace. They go through the gate, looking for
Roshan.
more, looking for Roshan.
How did it come to this? Out of nothing, they create an opening, find a massive target in Skeeter, get the clump, second kill on the Hoodwink, and all because this Phoenix was just being annoying on the side lanes and didn't TP out when you thought he did. Liquid finding an opening in this game where there was none. And they will get massively rewarded for their patience and Aegis on a Morphling.
Massive pickup. That is Conda done with an Aegis and an Aghanim Scepter that the Morphling is working on. He's halfway there, which obviously is massive in this Morphling versus Earthshaker matchup. Ever since they've given this Aghanim Scepter to the Earthshaker, the Morphling has been one of the best answers to it across the game. It hasn't worked so well in this tournament, but maybe the carry Morphling of Mickey can prove that this counter is still good.
It functions so differently now than it used to, right? You're getting a second Shaker, you're getting an illusion. You have to be able to use it well in the fight. It's not straightforward at all, and you're doing it into a triple BKB lineup, so how strong are these stuns actually going to be from the illusion that's just running around?
Do you think he's actually ever going to use the alt cast? I think he's not. I think he literally just wants to be able to enchant totem jump around.
Yeah, maybe it's just
I think that's all he wants.
That to me sounds a little expensive, though. Like, you are putting a lot of net worth into just getting the enchant totem jump around compared to just more reliable damage on your hero itself.
Are scanning.
And there are other good spells to steal. I don't know, to catch 22, it could pay off massively. I could also just see it kind of falter. But the totems, they do hit hard. There is no doubting that.
Falcons, man, they have to be the team that puts the most emphasis on Tormentors and taking the enemy Tormentor when they have an advantage, and they do just that. Again, Falcons taking everything away from Liquid that they can, and Liquid getting nothing for free but a smoke up, a push out. And pushing right into Falcon's side of the map. Is Falcon's expecting this one? Amar's in a placement here. They spot Crit, trying to chase after him. They use a lot of their mobility and don't get a kill. And now Maureen, he's put himself
right up in the face. He
got
does get
Ags off.
lassoed. He does manage to get off his Agony Interceptor. It's still
not
trying
enough.
to burst him down. It's not enough. There is not enough HP for you to be able to survive against the mid-game Morphling, who
He's
will cut down
tearing.
support after support. It's 3 kills going to Liquid.
Dude, Mickey, he was the hope for Liquid all along, and he is starting to show up now. This Morphling does a lot of damage. You can get that Ags off on the Timber, but you did not BKB.
The Aghanim Scepter just got delayed as the courier that was carrying it out, Amar, manages to find it in the river.
It was coming from the Dire shop, I guess?
I don't know exactly.
That's a big loss here. This Morphling was getting some momentum. That's 4K down the drain for 3 minutes. Some breathing room for Falcons. They still have very wealthy cores. But as we saw, a lot of these fights, honestly, have just come down to who presses BKB at the right time.
Tower is under attack.
You cannot be too greedy with it. Both these teams have a lot of single target burst damage. You have to respect that can come out. And yeah, oh, it's coming from bottom.
Yeah,
big blow.
Mickey knows that one hurts because he's got 2 minutes left on the Aegis. Now, they showed they don't need that Aghanim Scepter
For sure.
to be able to win a fight, but it would have been nice to have.
Attack.
See if Falcons try and use this opportunity at all. I don't know how confident they are smoking into the Aegis. Maybe smoking it all.
I wouldn't feel confident after that last team fight, but the question is, does it get any better? Obviously, in 2 minutes, that Aegis is going to go away, but are Falcons going to be concerned about the growing late game presence?
They have absolutely recovered this Earth Spirits game by a decent margin. Getting to Shiva's on Nisha is huge. He's almost level 20. I think they would have liked him to be a bit farther down. You have to consider some of the breaks that can come through from this Primal Beast later on as well.
Yeah.
Can you wear out the clock on Liquid's lineup in the ultra late? We're talking true 6 slots on all these Falcons cores. I don't know. I mean, that gets murky, right? You have to consider the Shaman Instant Hex, which is an incredibly powerful spell in those late game situations, especially when the Shaman can find some of those greedy items. He already has Aether Lens done. You put a Blink on him. You can just win a fight off Blink Hex. Sometimes it's that simple. But it's looking a lot better for Liquid here after the last 10 minutes, and they're going to have a lot more room to play with as this game goes later, because Earth Spirit can continue to scale. The Morphling still has multiple slots to fill. This Primal has room to catch up.
Hey, did you see, by the way, in that last team fight, you can Yules on Lasso and it'll just instantly, like,
Did he pop it instantly?
it'll do a Dispel and they'll still be lassoed, right? Did that happen in that last team for you? Or did they do so much damage that his shield never really came
He
out?
had it up for a while. It might have got dispelled towards the end of that burst, but they were honestly dealing a decent amount of damage through that Ag.
That is spooky.
Like, you put Sunray on top of all this stuff, and you just have to get BKB off there.
I will say, I kind of feel like Malrine got under Liquid's skin a little bit, and it maybe was having an impact on their play, but now, when the game turns against you a little bit,
It's gotten a little quieter.
yeah, you wonder about that all chat, and you always gotta wonder, like, oh man, am I gonna look the fool at the end of this?
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. You put yourself out there like that, you talk some smack, you try and get underneath the enemy's skin.
You're going to live and die by the all chat, man.
Yeah, that's what Falcons' motto has been since their creation as a team. They're still up 4,000 net worth, but it does feel like a very different game than it was just 15 minutes ago.
Of course, we're continuing to find fighting items. You know, Octarine on the Shaker. This Blink for the Timber is going to let him initiate a lot better in combination with the Hex that Malrine wants to build into.
Yeah.
Bloodstone done for the Bristle. Lasso on the Hoodwink.
Yeah,
And
that's a
he's
quick kill
gone.
on a support, and they're going to look after more. Nisha has a haste rune, trying to get some vision, but
That
Falcons,
should be
they're
it.
pretty mobile themselves.
I just like these big core items Liquid are getting, like especially the Hex on Insania. That's huge here because you can now combine this with the Lasso initiations.
Yeah.
You can commit on those tanky core targets now. You drag people back, you Hex them, you can hold on to that Pulverize. And then you have that for a BKB duration. Makes Saberlight's life a lot easier, makes your initiations a lot stronger, and that Hex is guaranteed with the swoop in. Insania's just found so much in this game from such a rough start.
I wonder if he's going to consider upgrading that Yules into a Wind Waker, right? Against Shadow Shaman
Yeah,
and
you
the
could.
Earthshaker. There's a lot of chain stun that Falcons are relying on. Something that interrupts that could be really rough. Saberlight sees an opportunity,
The
hits
rock.
him with the rock, and he hit Amar as well. Grabbed him during the BKB. Interrupted by Snake King, who has that Hex.
Bailed
So
him out.
that is also a counter to the chain stun. Can't forget about that cluster cluck defensive capabilities. Saberlight is not just going to be able to pulverize people for free.
We talked about it at the start. This Shaman has offense potential and defense potential. This Hex save is really strong versus what Liquid have, particularly the Bat and the Primal Initiations. It is absolutely a spell you have to think about here.
Liquid saw that. They saw the BKB used on the Timber Saw, and they immediately drew. We saw Boxy, drew arrows on the map. He said, go down mid right now. They smoke up, 4-man smoke, but they're going to be playing into Falcon's
It's a
vision.
strong
It breaks,
ward.
tried to get a grab, got a lasso,
Another
pulled him
save.
up to the high ground.
He's
Another
stuck.
attempted save, but he's stuck up on the high ground with a supernova, burning him away. Saberlight knocks him down, gets the grab on him. Bam, 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 he is done. Liquid come in heavily to be able to get one kill, but it's a big one. Amar goes down on Falcons, and Liquid have the advantage to push tier 2.
And these totem hits, they slap for around 1,500. You get 2 of them off, someone is dead. I don't know who it is, but someone is absolutely dead. The fissure blocks could be annoying for this lineup as well. Even if you're not stunning through BKB, you're blocking heroes off. And this game has just completely swung Liquid's way. We're about to see the net worth potentially swing their way as well. I feel like it all goes back to that fine bottom on the gate that led to that Roshan.
Oh, yeah.
And they've just never looked back. And I'll tell you
Liquid-
one thing. When Liquid are playing Decisive, when they're making strong, fast moves centered around where Boxy's making the call, it almost doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you have a high ground ward. It doesn't matter if you're ready. This
Yep.
team is one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, as they've shown to TI. Falcons are struggling to deal with it.
And that's why at like that 20-minute mark, I thought Liquid was really on the ropes because I could sense hesitation.
Exactly.
I could sense them fumbling, you know? And that's where Liquid starts looking really weak. But if they have the momentum, if they have the confidence, they are absolutely the best team in the world. They showed it at TI. Can they show it here to be able to close out Falcons in elimination? They're going to go for the Roshan now. Falcons are going to give it to them. And that's fine, because Falcons, they're no strangers to the late game scenario. They're no stranger to comebacks. They are willing to take you on a high ground defense any day of the week.
But you don't have a right clicker. You don't have a traditional carry to fall back on.
Nisha breaking the smoke move of Falcons. And all Falcons will get for it is a ward. An Aghanim Scepter taken from Roshan, given to the Primal Beast. So now we have that break mechanic.
I think Falcons need more time. I think they need the Hex. They need more scaling power, either through Disable or just raw survivability. If this fight breaks out right now and it's a 5-on-5, Liquid are absolutely favored. Particularly if they can fight around Insania. If a Supernova goes off or a long duration Sunray on a lasso Hex target, you have Hex save to bail you out, and that's kind of it. 4 minutes on this Aegis. See what Liquid can get done on the map. That net worth lead has shifted back their way considerably. And as you said, Ags on the Primal Beast. That's a big one here. That's a large net worth injection. Pushes Saberlight up to the top 2. Maybe his early game was a little rough, but he is a true beast right now in this late game. That break is going to feel great on those single target jumps into the bristleback if the Shaman is not there to bail him out.
Boxy, he's going for it in the mid lane. Once again, spotting Crit, got the lasso on him, pulls him out. Skeeter can't stop him. Skeeter, oh, Saberlight. He didn't pop his BKB to commit for the grab onto Skeeter, goes for the rock, hits Maureen, gets a grab on him instead. An even better target. There goes the Hex, defensive clutch, but is it going to be enough? Vickers chasing after him. So much damage, and the burn. The Supernova's going to be used. Long Timber Chain away, but boxes after him, and Nisha wants his sweet revenge, but he will not have it, not now.
Other
Back
side
over
of the
to
fight.
Saberlight. Saberlight's still dead. Mickey, he's doing a lot of damage. Boxy, Fisher goes out. Amar still at his BKB going up. Nice Fisher from Skeeter. Not enough to turn things around. Not enough to go after Liquid, but enough to stall.
Oh, ATF? You just think about going back in there. Yeah, you have an Axe pop, but you really have to respect Liquid's burst. That was a stretch. That was a deep initiation. Yeah, you land the rock and you get the pulverize, but it's enough for Falcons to disjoin, and I cannot believe Maureen gets out of that.
Oh, seriously.
They chain stun him beautifully there with the Hex from the Phoenix. Then you get the roll in.
I mean, what a timber chain that he landed there.
Yeah,
25 is done for Mickey. He's got the waveform cooldown.
It's a big talent, particularly with this Satanic build-up. He's just going to go dataless as well. The crits are going to be flying. These waveforms are deadly.
Mars got his 25 as well, adding to his Warpath stacks. He's going to hit really hard with that Seeing Red, something not to be underestimated.
Yeah, can make up for the lack of a traditional right-click carry here.
Yeah, exactly.
Bristle just beats you down with the rock.
Yeah,
He's going to pick that Primal Rock up and start smacking your face with it here in a minute.
when he activates Seeing Red, like he just now used it, he was hitting for like 700 damage a hit.
Yeah, it gets close to 1,000.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of attack speed. He does have, you know, Assange and Yasha. Helps a little bit. Extra move speed. You're getting close to the cap. Is this another game you try and go the 60-minute mark, get the force boots, and then you're just rolling around being a beast?
They see Amar separating from the rest of Falcons.
So Nisha's here.
And they've got a scan on him. Nisha's going to roll right into him. The Shivas, once again, they're going to target Crit first. The Hoodwink goes down. Now looking for more. But Falcons are using their mobility to limit their losses time and time again.
Man, Crit has just... He has taken the brunt of these late-game smokes.
No, he's
They are on
seriously.
him every single time, and it's a big blow to Falcons' team fight. They need the low cooldown disables to go through for these 3 cores to output the damage.
Insania stacking up the banners here. He's level 21.
He's a monster right now. Aeon Disc on top of everything, so you can't even really jump him anymore. Running out of item slots.
Ooh, trying to go for the dive duels to stop that TP out. Does not find it.
You gotta look towards this next Roshan.
35 seconds left on the Aegis still for Team Liquid.
Yeah, but I don't think they're breaking base with
Yes,
this.
they're not.
So,
They're
like,
not.
You have to just play the map. I mean, it sounds crazy to think about,
They have
but
vision on Lamar. They have vision on Lamar. They're going to get the lasso pullback. Skeeter has to stop this, but they got him on the high ground. Saberlight does not push him down. He doesn't commit. The Raw coming in stops the grab. No shackle there. TP out from Lamar, meanwhile. Trying to find these supports. Snaking's not going to get away for long. That Glimmer Cape only lasts so long, but Saberlight and the rest of Liquid, they call it quits. They don't want to keep chasing. And after all, they didn't have Nisha here, so understandably so that they don't force things too much.
5-man smoke. They want to take advantage of the BKB cooldown if they can. What are they going to find, though? These lanes are... This mid lane was in very far.
Yeah, I mean...
Liquid should have a read of this.
It's a BKB for a BKB. Does Falcons really have much of an advantage?
It's all about the initiation. Illusion Rune, that could prove pretty big if you can bait something out with it. You're not really expecting Illusions to run in. He's just going to run them in for vision.
Yeah, Mars just fishing for info, not going to try and bait out anything. Good high ground ward here from Falcons that they're going to play around in the triangle. We'll see if...
Skeeter from the south.
Bisha, he's going to break the smoke, turns himself into stone instantly, kicks himself away.
Well, that is going to be another save mechanism Liquid can play around. It's also going to be a strong initiation tool. Can isolate a target.
Boxy almost has BKB. You can see he's afraid of... And he knows Falcons are looking for a pick-off right now around Liquid's base. They've got a lot of good vision. Not just this high ground ward. They've also got the mid ward, though.
There's the Hex for the Timber Saw.
That gets spotted by the gem. Hex for the Timber Saw. More lockdown. It's going to be the single target disables versus the saves on both sides.
Yes. You have to find big core targets. You have to not overcommit initially.
But you can't save from Enchant Remnants. That's one thing, is that if Nisha sees an opportunity to be able to kick someone into the rest of Liquid, you can't Hex stop that one.
You can also Hex him when he rolls in if he doesn't BKB, though.
If he doesn't BKB, we'll see if Nisha gets caught. We've seen Saberlight already have that issue a couple times. It's hard to judge whether or not you need to use BKB at the very start of these fights. Whether the Shadow Shaman is playing defensively to save people or if he's going to risk his life to try and get that disable. Mar hitting tower. Wards are going to be used. Rolled out immediately onto the Shadow Shaman. Got the silence on him with the Magnetize. He is certainly going to be dying and he's chasing after Crit as well. Fire Spirits goes out. Oh, Enchant Totem. They're trying to finish off Nisha. He turns himself to stone and he gets away. Meanwhile, flying through the air, Skater gets knocked down by Saberlight. Gets grabbed midair again. Again and again. He's denied his opportunity to run away and now Maureen is caught as well. Liquid
Maureen,
Is he out?
BKB, TP, no way! What? How did he manage to pull that one off?
Dude, the BKB ads at the end of these fights somehow bail him out every time. But the bigger question is,
Attack.
I mean, how much is it doing for Falcons here? Yeah, you can escape, but time and time again, Liquid are just finding the better openings.
Oh, Crit, you gotta be careful. It is crazy mobility here.
Oh,
Flame
clutch
Break
hacks.
managed to get a force staffed up to the high ground, and Mark tries to punish on a boxy. Not gonna get it, but Maureen might. Maureen
going
almost
in.
burst him down, but he doesn't have a BKB this time, and he missed his timber chain. Oh no, the one time you cannot afford to miss, Maureen. He doesn't hit a tree, he dies. 90 seconds. Liquid, what are they gonna do with this 90 seconds? It is, of course, Roshan. That'll be up in 35.
Have to think about the next Roshan here. That's an important buyback on the Shaman. Liquid should be very happy with that. And of course, their mid laner is going to respawn here first, so you can start to push the lanes out, regain some map control. You might have a little interval with that advantage. Another Hex arrives for Falcons. They're starting to get to that late game scale where they have Disable on all of their cores, and they can use this front line to its full advantage. It's going to make the fights a lot more precarious for Midday on this Morphling.
Mars pretty far forward here. This is
He's also very tanky.
Mickey. He doesn't have a problem trying to step to him right now.
Baited.
But he's getting baited into the Shadow Shaman. Got off the BKB with the grab coming in from Saberlight, stopping the chain.
Dieback.
Mickey's able to do something here. That's going to be a dieback for him, but Saberlight might be in trouble. He's got a BKB rolling from behind. Nisha hit him. Nisha catches the Earthshaker. He's dead. Skater's gone. Amara has to fight for his life. Thanks to the Bloodstone, he might be able to do so. Oh, what a hex!
Super
Got the
clutch.
grab on Insania.
Mickey out
still
of
gonna try and
mana.
make work on this Satanic, but he's out of mana. He needs a little bit of help. Meanwhile, Saberlight's chasing after Amar. Waiting to hit the Shameless. He might just be able to get him. They need a little bit more, but he's
Already.
dead. Got him.
The damage.
Saberlight dies a retarded rolling from Nisha going after. Oh, Timber Size in
Skiers
trouble.
back.
Bushwhack, what a grab. Nisha in trouble. Enchant Remnant, he's trying to kick himself away, trying to get the rollout rolls into them. Remagnetizes, but he will not be able to stay alive. Falcons have control of the pit.
So many buybacks committed here, but Falcons will take their reward, which is Roshan, dire side, buybacks into the outpost. Too many lives for Liquid to get through here as all three cores commit the second life. Liquid unable to match them, did not commit a single buyback into that fight. And ultimately, I can't help but feel it's just Mickey running out of mana. There's too many lives to get through for this Morphling.
Yep.
And there's not enough mana to get the job done. A tough fight for Falcons. They're able to pull it out. And that clutch hex from Maureen was
sick
so
from Maureen.
important there. He catches the Phoenix on the dive in.
Yeah, you get a Supernova in the middle of that. If he gets a sight to find Supernova, like that fight, there's no way
Completely
Falcons can
different.
win that situation.
Completely different if Insania is able to have his impact there. Instead, he gets nothing done.
Maureen steps it up. Falcons, they made the call. They needed him in the early game. Now he's stepping up in the late game as well. And he's managed to push this 50 minutes. Falcons with an Aegis. We're starting to get to that timer, Avery, that you were talking about. What does it look like super late game? When we start getting maxed out on slots, can Liquid still have the late game staying power? Because Mickey is struggling to be able to do it alone. You can't ask him to kill all of these Falcons heroes. There's just too much beef.
That is the problem Falcons want to propose here. If they have to make the Morphling run out of mana to win the fight, they will win the fight that way. They will get the job done dirty. And now that they have multiple hexes, all of these frontliners are a risk to the Morphling. He has to pop the BKB earlier in the fight than he wants to. He has to start getting his damage out faster than he might want to before the control comes through.
And that's really annoying. Means Liquid had to pop their BKBs at the start of the fight, and then Falcons have shown they'll just kite back.
Especially if they have buybacks to just go in a second round. This could be an Aegis that they just play to wear out, get the buybacks back off cooldown. Play super conservative. I would not be surprised to see them go that route. We've seen them go there time and time again, and they're the ones stuck in the base right now. They are the ones on the back foot as Liquid on the hunt, looking for a pickoff, looking for anything they can find.
Boxy's got to put his Yules back in.
Gets a base ward. It's a dangerous ward when you're playing against Batrider. Smoke will come out from Falcons. They do not want to get jumped right now. They do have a shield rune on Skeeter.
They're pushing into a ward right now. Liquid not going to be caught underneath that high ground ward.
Who
but
gets
the
the
smoke,
jump? Who gets
He's
the
still
angle?
going to break all the same. Nisha, he rolls in first.
Clips
Gets up to
himself.
the high ground, gets good vision. Box is going to spot his target. It's going to be Malrine. They got the supernova this time around. Malrine gets off his BKB, Aghanim Scepter, and zips himself away. While Saberlight, he's stuck inside the shackles. Oh, Liquid's having a hard time getting their grab on any sort of hero here. This is not looking the best for them.
ATF. He just wants the front line. Use this Aegis. Give the vision for the fight.
He's certainly going to try to. Nisha, Saberlight, and Mickey, they all jump forward, trying to get any of the backline heroes. They are going to go for snaking here. Neon Disc immediately going to go off. Meanwhile, Saberlight gets the grab onto Amar. Any help with this one? Not quite. Malrine, he rolls in after them, trying to help out Amar with the Bloodstone. Turns around, kills two. Nisha, he's only able to get the Shadow Shaman off of all this. Looks like they ran down Malrine as well. Amar is getting a bit low, chasing after Boxy. Here comes Mickey. Misses the Fissure as he disappears into the night. The invisibility is able to get him away, but Skeeter might still be caught. It's Enchant Totem after Enchant Totem. Rolled after him. Is he going to be able to escape from this one? Blinks out just in time. Saberlight almost got him on the grab. Somehow Skeeter weaves his way through Liquid Hero after Liquid Hero and gets back to the base.
Leap on leap, but the Shaker will win out as Mickey cannot find his prey. And that is an aggressive buyback coming out from the Primal Beast. Liquid unable to convert on the buyback advantage despite the Aegis still being alive on Amar here. He wants to use it. He hits real damn hard. But he cannot get the job done alone. Does not have the control to lock the Morphling down. That'll be the dieback for the Timbersaw. Maybe Malrine happy to get it out of the way now while there's not too much pressure going into their base and they still have the Aegis advantage. Gotta remember these buybacks for Falcons are gonna come up faster than you think. They're all on the same cooldown, around 2.5 minutes left here on the clock. And that becomes a much more difficult fight for Liquid to take, particularly if it's around an objective where Falcons can abuse the life advantage. Refresher for the Earth Spirit, double magnetize now available for Nisha, undispellable. He's still looking for that stone kick. This game can absolutely turn on a single initiation from any of these big initiators.
Supernova hit count. We saw pulveration, duration as well.
Yeah, Pulverize is annoying.
It is annoying.
It's
If
hard
you
to
can-
fight into, but you kind of need the BKB to be up to the full duration. That's a tall ask.
Yeah.
You might even need a
And
refresher.
that hero can't get hexed, right?
Yes,
Like defensively
there's a
hexed.
hard defensive save. It's getting a little more difficult for Snaking to be in the middle of it. Aeon Disc definitely bailed him out there. He also went for Ascetics Cap. He is trying to survive as much as possible. Refresher arrives for Skeeter. You have a lot of lockdown potential.
Not a single
Falcons.
buyback on the side of Falcons right now. Any pickoff that Liquid gets right now could be final.
They still have
Whether
that high ground ward, by
they-
the way. That's why they're smoked here. Boxy
They see
looking.
Malrine. Is that going to be the target? It is. They get grab. Hex
save.
immediately goes out. That stops the lasso, and Saberlight couldn't get the pulverize
Mickey
in time. Meanwhile,
got caught.
Mickey's in trouble. Poor Snap Touch managed to get him a little bit of distance. Mickey's almost dead. Got off the Supernova. Meanwhile, pulverize gets the grab onto Malrine, and it just does not stop. The stuns goes out.
Interrupted.
It stops the Timber Chain. Malrine might just die. Skeeter tries to save him, but it's not good enough. He dies, dead for 95 seconds. It's gonna be up to Amar. Can he carry this with his physical damage? Seeing red refreshes, finishes off one. Saberlight dead. Liquid
Falcons.
playing it slow, got a long range shackle. Skeeter, he doesn't really want to dive into all this. What Nisha does though, goes after Snaking. Glimmer Cape does manage to get him away. Liquid are resetting, Liquid are getting out.
Falcons kiting it out. Looking to re-engage, looking for their mark.
Might just
Skeeter
catch
on the side.
Insanity here, spots him, no dive away, he's dead as well. Two dead on the side of Liquid with no buybacks. Oh!
That's an Aetherland Shaman. You are lucky to get out there. And we're starting to see Falcon's game plan. Let Amar go in, let the Bristle deal the damage, just give him the stuns. And Liquid getting kited out a little bit more in that fight than I think they wanted to. Very difficult for Nisha to connect on these rolls and stones. It's just so hard to find an isolated target, especially with these hex saves going through. Even with Malrine going straight into the middle of them, it just just takes so long to bring him down.
Yeah.
And
The
you
hex
to
saves
check-
are so brutal.
Yeah, that's the problem. You have to check the Shaman at the same time you're trying to kill that frontline core. At the same time, the Bristle's wreaking havoc on your backline. There's a lot of late game damage threats coming online for Falcons right now. And a lot of disable. That double Echo Slam did a crap ton of damage, even though you're not disabling heroes with the BKB. It's still something you have to deal with here. He has Timeless Relic on top of it on this Shaker. The spell damage is absolutely out of control right now.
Creeps push in. They got a range barracks. Liquid just not willing to put any heroes in the firing line there. Falcons still have 20 seconds. They're going to get a bit more damage. Amar's going to go for it with the Serpent Wards. Oh, but he's going to get kicked in. That's a little dangerous. Lotus Orb put onto him.
Is under attack.
I'm surprised there was no... I thought he was going to get turned to stone and kicked in. Oh, Boxy. Boxy doesn't hit his initiation. Has to be bailed out by Nisha. And that is going to be another range barracks down.
Nisha looking here. I mean, I feel like he didn't stone him there because Nisha feels like he needs it for himself.
Yeah,
he does not want to
maybe.
get caught in a situation where you stone kick that Bristle and then you're just getting chain stun there. Still, it
He
looked
has a
really...
refresher, though.
Yeah, it looked really tempting, right? You can't help but feel if you just stone that guy, kick him super deep, it has to be favorable.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing that can happen to you in that situation is like Lotus Orb, and you stone yourself, in which case, okay, who cares?
Smoke into the high ground. High ground ward for Falcons.
Shivas going out trying to get a little bit of vision. Boxy's looping
in the back. He has Trickster
the way
Cloak.
around.
High ground ward.
It's gonna break. He gets a high ground ward. They get some vision, but Boxy's spotted. Boxy's gonna die before he gets off the
Aeon
Aeon. No, he got the Aeon, and now he gets the lasso. Pulled into the Supernova. They're gonna get the grab. Full on commit for snaking. They got the stun onto Amar as well. And Mickey's gonna chase after him.
hexed.
Already down to half HP. Refreshed up. Nisha trying to chase after him, but Amar doesn't manage to disengage. And the Echo Slam.
Double
Refresh.
Echo.
Slam again. Nisha got off his BKB, but Mickey is dead. He does have a buyback. Nisha. He's in the middle of it right now. Maureen with the buyback coming in from Mickey. They're trying to get here soon, but
The
Nisha,
shackle.
he's cut out so far
Still
away
help.
from the rest of the team.
The stone.
Wait, the kick. Roll out. He gets back to Mickey. Nisha survives.
Is that good enough, though? You committed Morphling buyback to this fight. It feels like you need something here.
Oh, certainly. You got to be able to contest for Roshan, surely.
Austin, there's an amp damage in the river, but nobody sees it right now.
God.
They're going to concede Roche.
They are.
Falcons.
They say, okay, the buyback gives you Roshan. It gives you the Aegis. You can have it.
They do not want to take the 4-on-5. Feel like Crit's utility and even some mini stuns are too important. Also, the refresher cooldowns on some of their big cores. You're missing BKB refresher on the Shaker. You're missing BKB refresher on the Bristle. Just don't have the fighting power into the Morphling right now, but look at how hesitant Liquid are. This was not a Roche they instantly went into. This is one that they are curious if Falcons are still around, but nobody's home. You will absolutely take this objective in exchange for Mickey's buyback. Put an Aegis on the Morphling. It's another Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, what are we going to do with this one?
Does
Phoenix get it?
No, I think you want this on Boxy. His initiations have been really strong this game. You give him double lasso, could just win you the game.
Yeah, and it looks like that is going to be the call. As Mickey instant hex. Nisha in a bit of trouble here, but it got off his BKB. They couldn't get the chains disabled long enough. Now Falcons need to be able to get out of here.
They just want to get the hell out. They got
Stones
wrapped.
go out. Amar gets stunned up. Activates his BKB, but that's where the pulverize and the lasso, but the hex saves him from both. He's able to back out. Falcons do not lose anything for that. They got the middle melee barracks. Still manages to get away.
Shaman wards proving their worth here as you claim more objectives as Liquid trying to deal with all the items they got from that Roshan and get back to base at the same time.
They do have some vision up here. They spot, but they're not.
Still holding this Aghanim Scepter, by the way. And it will go to Boxy. I think this is absolutely the right call. That Phoenix one can be really strong in these late game scenarios, but how reliable are you getting an egg save off compared to double lasso? In every single team fight, we haven't seen Boxy land some very nice lassos on big core targets.
Yeah.
You drag two heroes in, it might be enough for you to secure the team fight victory here. Buyback.
Tier 5 neutral items. What are we looking for?
Yeah,
it seems like mass mobility on the side of Falcons.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Mirror shield would be amazing, but force boots on the bristleback. I have seen this one before.
Oh, that's true.
We talked about it at the start of the game. This item on this hero just turns him into an absolutely different beast. You get up to 730, 750 MS. It's undispellable, I think. You can't slow him. It's a monstrosity.
I feel like the mirror shields are in Falcon's advantage just because Snake King is only using his Hex defensively.
Radiant are scanning.
How are they going to be able to kill these supports if they can't, single target focus them down?
I think mirror shields look quite strong here for both teams. It'll be Falcons who grab 2 of them on the 2 supports. If you thought these 2 supports weren't annoying enough to kill, you're going to have to go through double mirror shield now. That lasso becomes a lot more dangerous. Also, Book of Shadows on the Timbersaw. So triple saving tier 5 neutrals coming out for Falcons. They just want to survive. They just want to win the long fight. Whereas more aggressive options for Liquid, they have double force boots of their own, an Arcanist armor, a Giant's Ring, and Mirror Shield for Mickey on this Morphling. He's the one who wants to survive the single target hexes going straight into him. Can't blame him on that one. Age is still available for Liquid. Shield Rune picked up for the Morphling. You'll morph full strength, abuse that. A lot of extra HP right now for Mickey. Liquid on the hunt. They have all the buybacks available except for their hard carries.
They've got this Aghanim Scepter. They want to get the grab.
He got
mirror shielded. Oh no, he got dragged in the tier 4. Force that. Gets him down to low ground. Plus a Neon Disc. Boxy trying to get away. Amar trying to take advantage of the situation. Turns into stone. Trying to kick the Bat Rider out of here. And he will make it out. Boxy just learned some very valuable intel. Do not lasso the supports.
That was not the shackle he was looking for at all. Lucky to get out of there, lucky to survive. The whole time that team fight is happening, this top lane pushes in for Falcons, starts hitting the tier 4s for Liquid. So you also have to consider the loss of 2 barracks in this game.
Yep.
And what it's going to do to you in terms of the pressure on the map, the mentality of trying to push onto Falcon's side
Are scanning.
and deal with the lane pressure. And these Mirror Shield, Book of Shadows, Lotus Orb, Lincoln Spheres, there's so much for Boxy to get through in this game, and they need these lassos to go off. I honestly do not know how he's going to find anything.
63 minutes. Network dead even. Bangkok, you having a good time right now? As we approach the midnight hour, Falcons smoked up, and now they're the ones looking for the pickoff just outside of Liquid's base. 35 seconds left on the Aegis. Liquid, they're not home right now. Liquid
Knock,
are going
knock.
to find that they may be forced to fight up against Megas if they do not, with vigilance, protect their bottom lane.
It's another tower down. All you used was those Shaman wards. Level 30 online for this Bristleback, the first hero to reach it. ATF has everything he could ever possibly want available to him.
35 strength for the Morphling as well. 25 on crits. The supports are even getting their 25 talents.
That is not a bad 25 in this game. It's a lot of extra damage on the sharpshooter. He has the Ags as well, so in theory, maybe you get 2 sharpshooter hits. They pierce debuff immunity. Every bit of damage counts in these late game situations when you're trying to bring down these tanky cores.
Yeah, the only person who hasn't got 25 is Snakey.
The Shaman life.
Shaman life.
I don't know if his 25 is the most impactful in this game. It's probably the most irrelevant. It's going to come down to who can survive on the front line, who can find the initiations, and maybe who just has more staying power against so many refresher orbs in this game. We saw one just come out for the Phoenix, double supernova available for Insania, but that also means double hex potential on the offensive side.
Radiant are scanning.
He also has his extra supernova hit count. These eggs are almost impossible to bring down for Falcons. I don't even see a scenario where they make it happen.
approaching. They have a high ground ward here on the side of Falcons. They're gonna go for it. Boxy. Oh, Amar! Look at how fast he turned on a dime and force boost himself away from Boxy's attempt at an initiation.
And now Falcons looking. No
Wait,
Saberlight.
Saberlight's still gonna go for it despite the fact that Boxy misses initiation. Saberlight is still gonna look, but he can't make the grab onto Crit, but it looks like Nisha will be able to roll on top of him. And that Hex can only do some more. Whoa, wait! They're going after Malrine as well. Malrine activates BKB, gets the long Timber Chain away. Nisha
You can't
doesn't let him
run.
go for free. Hexed up, turned him to stone afterwards, though he Timber Chained away. So he's still got the distance. Liquid are gonna have to back away. They've got these other lanes to contend with.
That entire time, Mickey was showing in Liquid base, and they were still chasing. There's no boots to travel to on this Morphling or anything.
That's crazy.
And Falcons
Whoa,
respecting.
Nisha going back in for the gem.
Dude, he is playing like an absolute psycho
This
right
man's
now.
a monster.
Falcons respecting it. They do not want to take the 4-on-5. They absolutely refuse.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to take a fight against this kind of madman either.
Amp damage in the top river, and that's
he's
going to
got
get
a bottle
bottled.
for it too.
Level 30 on this Morphling as well. He is absolutely kitted. They're pinging the base.
I mean, you're reaching to a territory. Somebody's about to get one shot.
Yeah, someone's about to have their day absolutely ruined here in
The
this
question
lower
is
bracket.
whether or not Boxy can alley-oop it, but no! Immediately, the Lincolns and Boxy cannot get through these single target blocks, but Mickey still gonna pop his amp damage, try and go for an Echo Slam. That's one, and he saves. Refresh, Echo Slam managed to get the Force Staff away. Meanwhile, Mosh Pit right in the middle, but it's the Supernova use, and Falcons retreat. Yet again, they prove that they can feint out Liquid, get them to bite, get them to push their spells, and immediately back out.
And the base gets pinged every time this top lane goes in. Liquid feel pressure to return and get the lanes back out. They don't have long to linger in Falcon's base. Another team fight that gets kited out. That lasso never even went off. That was Boxy using the Force Staff to try and proc that Lincolns to get the opening. ATF just too fast, gets the Hex in return. Just so many instant disables. Needs refresher on this bat, honestly.
Is this the first Tormentor they've done? I'm sure it's not, but I just remember Falcons taking Tormentor after Tormentor. Nisha didn't have his shard. He's got that now. So that's another save.
There's too many saves, too many disables in this game.
Somebody's going to need a save. Falcons. They're smoked up. Boxy. He might be the first point of contact here. No, it's Saberlight. He's going to break the smoke. He's going to be the one to get hexed up. He's in trouble. But Falcons do not overly commit. Nisha rolling into them at the same time. Sunray's going to heal him up. Got the lasso. Echo Slam in return. Dude, Enchant Totem immediately going to be used. Staking is going to be caught down. Fisher Throat. And now another remnant going to be used. Use it on Boxy, trying to get away. Meanwhile, they're chasing after Skeeter. Skeeter has the magnetized while they're finishing up Crit Hoodwink.
Have to go back to base. Skeeter will survive the last tick of that magnetized.
Got two supports killed. We're not able to finish up the cores.
Dude, Nisha, there's no answer for him on the front line. He goes in again and again. They don't want to commit on him.
Amar,
Mickey still chasing.
what are you doing farming like this one? So far away from your base, but the Force Boots.
He's
Let
so
him
fast.
get away quick.
He is so damn fast. And a very clutch stone from Nisha. He rolls in, saves Boxy, who's getting chain stunned up from those Echo Slams. He has to go so deep to try and find these lassos. Mickey, you want to hit base here. Double
Mickey.
supports down. Only one buyback available for Falcons.
Yeah,
The Shaman.
160 gold left on the Shaman.
But Liquid don't know that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They group up a little bit, which is dangerous against this Earthshaker. Boxy goes for the initiation, misses. Once again, Amar, he's quick on his feet.
Does have the refresher on the bat. So even if he doesn't get that first lasso, he can look for the second round, and this will be a clean racks for Liquid.
Can they get a second one here?
They're playing it bold, being so grouped up like this. 3 cores. Boxy found his initiation this time around, but an immediate echo slam from Skeeter, interrupting the momentum. No chains done here, and Liquid, they have a hard time to be able to focus down these heroes. Mickey goes for the buildings instead. Liquid backing out now. Amar going for the chase. Gotta grab on and pulverize. Another echo slam from Skeeter. Every single time Liquid tries to go for the grab, there's Skeeter standing in this way, stopping them from being able to focus down any one hero.
Mickey just wants buildings here. He's getting what he came for. That's 2 lanes.
2 lanes of barracks. The game is evened up.
ATF does not want to let them get away right now. He knows their tier 4s are being assaulted. He wants the catch. He wants a kill. He's seeing red, but he can't find
He's ruined for Sableye. He is on the run.
You have all the move speed in the world, but not a hero to hit. ATF, he finds nothing but a little black dragon.
Is Liquid about to do to Falcons what Falcons did to them in game 1?
It's starting to feel that way. They just can't lock down a hero. This Giant Ring Earth Spirit on the front line, with the extra status resist he still has from the Sanjay Yasha, you just can't sit there and shackle him. There's too many stuns in this game, too many saves.
Oh, look at that pickup. He just picked up a Revenant's Brooch on Bristleback.
That is a lot of DPS increase right now when you need it. Roche, Radiant side, Refresher Shard, and a cheese. Do you even have the slots for this, though? You already have refreshers on most of your cores.
Yeah, frankly, I feel like if it's on Radiant side, it's free for Falcons and vice versa for Liquid. I feel like neither one of these teams wants to take a Roshan fight where there's the buyback advantage. It's just give them the Aegis. Just give them the Aghanim Scepter.
You're just running out of slots in this game. Aegis on ATF is nice, but his issue is not surviving. It's locking people down and killing them. Refresher Shard for Snaking should not underrate it here. He bought up that late game BKB on the Shaman. This is something that might allow him to lock down a hero for a prolonged period of time.
And he's got the ward attack damage. He could just go for the throne at some point.
That is also an option. The backdoor potential for Falcons with, 1 tier 4 down, multiple lanes down. They just don't have a lot of boots of travel. They don't have a lot of ways to get heroes into Liquid's base.
I mean, do they need any other heroes? Just Shaman could do it with double wards.
If this game comes down to a Shaman ward base race, I mean, you tip your hat. I don't know what you're supposed to do at that point. Both these teams just clumping.
So Octarine on the Earth Spirit with the level 30. So he now has the extra stun duration. So a 3-second cooldown on a 1.4-second stun. This is really hard to contend with. You almost have level 30 on the Primal Beast as well.
I mean, you just
Not
have
sure
to
if
go.
that
You
matters.
just have to go in, throw all your spells, and hope you're the one who comes out on top. There's way too much chaos in these fights.
Honestly, despite the chaos, I gotta commend Skeeter every single time, man. He is like, he's got a lot of spells to throw around, but he's hitting the timing on them perfectly, I think.
He has stopped a lot of pulverizers from getting their full duration off. He has saved a lot of his other 2 frontliners from death. How long can he keep doing that, though, is the question.
And my question is whether or not this Revenant's Brooch will prove to be the antithesis to this Morphling.
Yep.
Right? Will it be able to provide the damage that cuts Mickey down when he doesn't expect it?
ATF. Part of me thinks this guy believes he's the best offlaner to ever play this game. Another part of me thinks he believes he's the best carry to ever play this game. Maybe both. But he's going to have to carry this game as he's the majority of the sustained damage for Falcons right now.
Nisha rolling around. Amar. He spots Liquid.
Oh, lasso attempt.
Yeah, lasso.
Didn't get
He got him. Refresh. Hex goes out. He's able to get away. A second attempt at a lasso. Boxy got him on the second time. And there's no refresh Hex on this one. Skeeter. He needed somebody else to save him and turn Supernova off of the high ground. A buyback, but they're going to be running into a Supernova. That's not good. Refresh from Maureen. He's going to activate his Aghanim Scepter while Crit is in trouble. The supports are getting run
Falcons
down.
are falling.
And Liquid, they're just running down support after support. Meanwhile, Boxy, he's going to be caught. Skeeter does manage to blow him up. A buyback TPN coming in soon.
Skeeter.
Shadow Shaman, Snake King flinking away. Almost immediately. Oh, broken. Bristleback. So much damage, but Snake King with his BKB.
The shackles,
the
full
disable,
duration.
the Hex, the Mickey, he's dead. Immediate buyback gonna be used. Nisha going for snaking now. He did his duty. He's dead, and he's not coming back. And Nisha and Mickey, they're coming back in a big, big way.
Aegis down, Bristol round 2, but is anybody gonna be alive?
Maureen is dead. Another buyback potentially to be forced as Liquid are pushing down mid. A 5 versus 3.
Another amp damage in the river that they don't see again.
Oh my god. Saberlight jumps forward. Shiva's trying to get a little bit of vision, a little bit of action.
Mickey wants throne, he wants buildings here, he wants buybacks.
He's gonna
How
go for
much
the megas.
Will you risk for it?
Playing for the megas for now. Skeeter trying to stall them.
3 on 5, no buybacks available for the
But you
Falcon
know-
supports.
Liquid are not stopping here.
The base is getting pinged.
They are gonna force this one.
Liquid, you have
It's
to
gonna
think
be
about
used. Amar just having a bit of a poke. See if they can force Liquid. Meanwhile, the base is in a bit of trouble, but they got the grab on Amar, and Amar's gonna die. Does have a buyback, does use it. Fisher coming in again, but soon the throne is gonna be exposed.
They want
Skeeter goes
Mickey.
all in for Mickey, but Mickey, satanic, heal up the full.
Liquid's
Timber's in
throne
trouble, but the throne.
is dying.
Mickey has to go for it right now. He has to finish it up. Insania's gonna be able to bail out the throne. Mickey though, that's gonna be glyph used.
They need the Morphling, they need him now.
Morphling, he's gotta put the damage in now, or Falcons is gonna win
Wins it.
Wait for it, going for it. Last little bit. Can he do it? He has got it.
It's over.
Liquid are taking it.